Welcome everyone. Oh, so good to have everyone's faces. Makes it so much more fun for me when I can actually see everybody. Um, Diego's having a good dance there. Are you actually in San Francisco? Oh, mini love.
I'm Mexican, but I'm currently based in Valencia, Spain.
Oh, nice. Love Spain. Okay, guys. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to talk about everything that we're going over in just a moment. I'm going to set a couple of boundaries, some expectations. I want you to have a lot of fun. That's the main thing. And I'm going to blow your minds with quite a few things. So stick with me. Let's get into these disclaimers first. Make sure you can see this. So, okay, first thing, just a couple of disclaimers. You have a 4-day replay to this workshop, just so you know. I'm going to send out a replay after this. You can leave, you can come back, whatever you need to do, just so you know. This workshop is probably going to go for around about 2 hours. Hey, it could go for 5 hours. It really depends on you. I have no rush, but the more that you want to open up and talk about your content and what you want to achieve in 2026, the better, because it helps everybody. So, there's no time limits. I'm here for you and make sure that you get the most from this. I know a lot of people set their alarms and they woke up early and everything else, and we've got people from all around the world. So make sure you don't feel bad about taking up space. I want you to step into this because this is for you, okay? So ask questions in the chats or interrupt me, like no problem at all. So don't feel bad about doing that. Like, please, let me lose my mind a little bit and have a little bit of fun. Stay kind or leave. That's an easy one. If you feel like you want to call someone out or something, like, let's take that out of here. I don't have anyone here curating the comments like I have in the past. In the past, we've had to do that because the people would show up just to be a troll. If that's you, like, just go and troll, in the mirror. That's better, just to yourself. Um, yeah. That's just a lot easier. And I do have the six-figure business map is open this week. It's open for a few days and it's only open for 30 people. That's on purpose. I'm going to talk about that at the very end. If you want to know more about that, I know a lot of people in here are from the business map or been in the business map as well. So I'll talk about that at the end. If you do have questions, we can dive over that. So, a couple other disclaimers before we get into it. And this is really important, so please listen. When I say content, I'm talking about social media, emails, paid ads, digital marketing as a whole is the content game. Okay. So when I say content, just so you know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not talking about your art. I'm talking about content that helps generate business as a system. Okay. So don't take this personally and think that I'm talking about your art at any point in this because I'm not. We are artists as well. Like, and then unfortunately, like we're artists. I mean, it's not unfortunate, but we get to do our art for business, a lot of us in this room, depending on your niche. But one thing I don't like is when educators jump on and just tell you, like, well, you have to feed the algorithm and there's nothing else and forget about your art. But honestly, we're talking about two separate things here. And I would say your art and content for your business are two very different things. Okay. So if I'm saying, like, hey, don't post a single photo like this, but you're saying, like, well, that's my art and I want to post that, absolutely post that. I'm talking about two separate things because what content is in this workshop is predictable media that you put out to bring in leads is what I'm talking to create trust. So what we're trying to do here is build authority, connection, relatability, and trust. And that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about showcasing our abilities and our creativity and our art and our messaging and all that kind of stuff. So, last little disclaimer, one way is not the only way. We need to come up with our own eyes so we stand out, not fit in. And marketing and content, we know this. It's all about standing out. It's not about fitting in. And it's the most important thing. So, today I'm hoping I'm going to give you some ideas that's really going to, like, oh, okay, turn a switch in your minds. Because what I want to do, um, well, actually, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Guy, if you don't know who I am, and it rhymes with Sky for all my friends in the US that call me Jay. It's Jai, like Sky, Jai. Um, so hands up if you do know me from somewhere. I'm just going to stop share for a second. You can also do virtual hands up as well.
I hope.
Um, oh, hey, Steph. Hey, Kate.
I know.
Lara. Danielle. Daniel as well. Simon. Rebecca. Nice. Okay, lots of people. Anyone brand new here? You can react by doing a love heart down the bottom here.
Yay.
Reactions. Brand new. There we go. Julie, Susie.
Oh,
Cool.
lots
All
of new.
people. Tori, Claire, Hannah. Okay. Awesome. Trina. So, well, my name's Jai. If you don't know who I am, I've been creating content for a long time, like a really long time. I probably don't look as old as I actually have lived because I feel like I've lived like 10 different lives. But my first content actually really was my first business with the cafe that I had, which was in like 2007, 2008. No, earlier, 2006. But like back then I actually had a MySpace page for my cafe, and that was before Facebook. I remember the first email that came in going like, "Hey, your friend is on Facebook." I don't know if anyone remembers those, but that's how they got us all on
Mhm.
there. But I used to do publicity stunts and stuff. My media back then was the newspaper, or it was flyers, or it was like putting a billboard out in the street. Like I used to do that kind of stuff, and it was a lot of fun. But since then, I've evolved over many different platforms. And I do remember when I joined the photography space, I remember having this big conversation. I was the young guy, like picture this for a second, because I know some people are going to relate to this. I was a young, ambitious guy that just busted myself into a new industry. I thought maybe I could be one of the best in the world one day because I didn't know there were so many talented people. And I was very naive and I was very bullish and excited about social media and all the things it can do for me. Now, at this stage, when I was doing that, there was a whole industry that was brick and mortar that hated social media. Does anyone remember that? Oh, that's just me. So when I
Uh,
first came in, this is like 2012, 2013, okay? So it's not that old. But when I first came in, I was so excited about going out there creating, and I could just literally just post whatever I want on here, and I could contact anyone in the world, and people everywhere in the world could see my stuff. But then when I joined into like communities, the photography community, number one discussion was, man, what's people doing on social media? I'm going to avoid that. I hate that. I hate that we post on here. I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. And I found it really interesting that people that started 5 years before me were so jaded about an industry because what they felt was the right way was no longer the way. Okay. They were also at that time, they were talking about how, like, if you're digital, it's no longer a real photography. If you're posting on social media, you're an influencer, you're not a photographer. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that stuff. If you use presets, you're not a real photographer. If you use Photoshop, you're not a real photographer today. If you use AI, you're not a real photographer. The conversation will always change because as we evolve, whenever we join the industry, whatever industry, we think that's the golden times. And then as it moves forward, we kind of hate life because we're like, well, it used to be good and now not so good. But someone that's coming out today going like, oh my God, I have AI that I can leverage. I don't have to hire anybody. I can save a lot of money. I can access anyone around the world. I can create content on tap. Like the stuff that I can do now, no one else had opportunities to do that. I can track leads. I can do digital marketing across lots of platforms. Everyone's on their phone, so it's like a whole different conversation. So that's me in a nutshell. But one thing I do want to say about myself is I have to say I have created so much content. Um, Before Instagram announced that they were going to do videos, I was like one of the first to do videos on Instagram. It was hilarious. It was the worst videos ever. And they like went viral back then, which is not a big deal. There wasn't that many people on Instagram. But since 2015, I mean, bullish on videos, saying like videos and personal brand is going to be a big thing. 2019, I was like, it's going to be really big. In 2020, if anyone remembers, or 2021, 2022, if you're in my programs, I was like, you got to start a personal brand. And now I'm like, now it's a non-negotiable. Now it's like, if you're not doing that, like we've been talking about this for 10 years. There's been a run up, it's not a surprise anymore. So I think that's really important. But I am burnt out on content. I have to be honest. Like I am so burnt out that I got to make some short form shit all the time, man. I got to do BTS all day long. Yes, Kate. Did you have your hand up? Oh no. Um, Anyone else feel that way?
I
Like,
just agreeing with you, Jai. I
yeah,
am so over that.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
over it, man. Because
I'm overwhelmed for sure.
overwhelmed. Somewhere along the line, I was a great educator. I got to say that, man. I love doing what I do. Like I felt like I was a really good educator. I showed up for people. I did all the things. Somewhere along the line, I had to stop doing the education and I had to start content creation. And now I split my time between the two. And I'm like, Oh man, it was a lot easier when I could just show up and do my superpower, but now I have to do this. It's the same as like when you're a photographer. It's like somewhere along the line, I was great at shooting weddings, but now I got to follow the trends. I got to make some form content all day long, you know? So it does become a little bit frustrating. But here's what's also really frustrating. Hands up, you agree. Like right now, not only do you have to compete with others in the photography space, you got to compete with the whole fucking world and how good everyone is at content. You got to compete
Mm,
against influencers, content creators, videographers. You got to compete against people that just started and they got no skills, no anything. They just came out and they're already blowing up. You got to compete against AI content. There's so much of that that's just getting thrown out all over the place. So it's getting noisier and noisier. But I will say this. I don't know if you've seen the stats, but since 2022, I want to say, or maybe it's 2021, that was the peak of screen time, and it actually has been declining. And I was in Soho the other day. I'm in New York at the moment, as Ben would know, because I just caught up with her yesterday. Um, I was at a stand-up comedy club. It was like midnight, shouldn't be there. I was having too many drinks. I was a little bit drunk. And then they did some karaoke, and that got even worse. But as we were sitting there, the host got up and she just looked around the room and just out of nowhere, she just said like, "Hands up if you would love to quit Instagram and Facebook." And do you think there was any hands that didn't go up? I looked around the room and I was like, well, there's like 200 people here. And everyone was like, oh, yeah. And then one person in
mm,
that room actually worked for Instagram, and her job was to stop people from committing suicide. That's on Facebook and Instagram. So they like identify people that are going down a pattern, and she's like trying to intervene, sort of thing. So very like toxic thing. But it's yeah, every single person. I was like, man, everyone feels like this. Isn't that crazy? How we all feel like this, but then we still do it. Like,
mm.
so I can imagine what our clients feel as well. I mean, a lot of people in here are wedding photographers. Imagine planning a wedding and then you like, you know how quickly your algorithm changes. So I'll just like type in wedding photographer and for an hour or like interact with a couple of them, and all of a sudden, whole new feed. And you can imagine how overwhelmed people are going to be when they're like, holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys agree with that?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm burnt out, and it sounds like you guys are burnt out, and I'm in looking for a new way, and there is a new way. And the fact that everyone agrees with me is telling me that it's not just you that agree with this, it's also your clients as well. I've got some more slides to share with you, and then we're going to dive right into it. So I just like screenshot this from a group, but I see this almost every single day. Has anyone received low engagement? I've been posting on Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram business, nothing. Crickets, posted reels, business account, 9 likes, posted on my personal account, none. Like, do my friends even like me anymore? Or is it just the
Yeah.
algorithm? It's literally driving my anxiety up the wall. I low key just want to delete my social media. Does anyone else feel like that?
Yeah, I feel like even like at the times you're supposed to post, like I still don't get anything. Like
Yeah.
your stuff just gets pushed all the way down.
Yeah, the people
It's
that
so
follow you
annoying.
don't see it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It's
So I could follow you and go like, I'm
makes me
interested in what you're
insecure.
doing. Yeah,
It makes you feel insecure.
it really does. It really does because it's funny actually. I watched a little interview. It was with Matthew McConaughey and I can't remember who, but they were talking about how it makes us insecure because back in the day we would create something, and then once we had that thing, we, other people would admire it and they'd see it and they would admire our work and stuff. But what now happens now is we create and then we put that out into the world, and we no longer get the dopamine from the thing we create. We get the dopamine from like putting it out first and then getting validation from people. So we're getting the validation like straight away. It's like it doesn't really matter what the product is. Like validate me. I'm doing some work, you know? So it's like moves the goalpost almost. And then because we post something and then no one likes it, it's like it doesn't
Mm.
validate us. It does the opposite. It's like, damn, no one does like me, you know?
Yeah, so then where else can you post your work? Like you feel like your work is just losing its value.
It's losing its value because what's happening with your work and everyone's work is it's becoming part of the noise, not part of the solution. So what we're going to talk about today is like, how do we become part of the solution? So if we're all posting, like I'm looking here, there's 150 people here. If we're all posting the same thing, um, like we're all going to dilute each other's work, you know, so collectively it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a few slides. I promise I won't make them boring, and then I'm going to dive into some wild stuff that I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so something broke and no one's really talking about it, but you felt it. Does anyone feel that? It's like
Mm-hmm.
along the way, I just felt it. It's like something's happened. It's changed. Instagram didn't abandon photographers by accident. It evolved towards what makes them money, which is videos, trends, addiction, ads, because it's no longer about you and your community. It's about, hey man, if you're not creating content that is getting them more ad revenue, like why would we show that to anybody? So it's kind of getting a little bit worse in that way. Followers stopped mattering. So all the community that you've built, it's met with silence. So I could have 60,000 followers, but it's as good as having six, really. Followers do work. For example, if somebody really does like my work, I can access them and say, like, I've got a workshop coming up, and then you can find that. But if I just want to put some content out there, it's not necessarily going to my followers, it's going to everybody. Which is not always a bad thing. It's also a good thing because it means that if you've got no followers, then you have a chance to reach a lot of people. It's no longer just those that have been on the platform for the longest. So photos didn't get worse. The system just stopped rewarding them. They're as good as they've ever been. In fact, way better. Like photography as a whole is just crazy now when you look around at what people are doing. So unless your content triggers dopamine, which is like the hooks, the shock, the speed, the sex, the trends, it doesn't get pushed. And that's just unfortunate thing as we're going towards marketing. And to be honest, I don't know about you, but that's not who we are.
Mm.
So we try to adapt. We're making reels, captions, trends, posting more, posting faster, posting louder. And I don't think any of that is really working. But slowly we're starting to lose ourselves along that way. We didn't start this to be content creators, unless you did. Has anyone here started to be a content creator? Yep. Diego says no. A lot of us, we started as like artists or as business owners or as storytellers, or like even for me, like being a coach for photographers and creatives, I started to literally show up and make an impact to those that wanted to make money from their craft. That was it. But along the way, I've become a podcaster, I've become a content creator, you know, people become YouTubers. The algorithm rewards more, skinnier, sexier, faster, more talent, more hustle, more comparison. And the cost is real. Anxiety, burnout, disconnection from others and from our own work. Because like this photo here is my own work, shot on film with one of my really good friends 10 years ago now. And this stuff doesn't work on social media because of whatever reason. But then all of a sudden you get disconnected from your own work. Well, I'm not going to share that. I love the photo, but the algorithm's not going to like it.
Your work is really good, Jai. I love your work.
Oh, thank you so much.
So inspiring.
So another thing is we're losing community, and worse, we're losing meaning. Because I think like community is one of the things that like hooks us all together. And yeah, like I'm seeing like a huge shift happening right now. But here is what hasn't changed. This photo is of me and Lilu, and this is by Joy Zamora, by the way. All the other ones are mine, but this one's not. We still love to connect. We still love to feel something and to make work that we're proud of. Can we all agree on that?
Mhm.
Yes.
That's what we love to do, right? We love depth. We love slow, intentional human work. There's something about it. And in 2026, I'd say that's not your weakness, it's actually your advantage. We can step back into that, which is going to be exciting. The future doesn't belong to the louder creators anymore. It's going to belong to the clearer ones. Those that actually have a message that people understand is going to be the most important thing in 2026, which is going to shock you a little bit. Okay, let me do stop share for a moment. Um, so that's just the sort of the beginning. I just want to put that out there. But I'm going to talk about three levers today that can really change your mind of content. One thing, first of all, um, has anyone used Atlas? It's a
No.
web browser and it's by ChatGPT.
No.
Okay, so what I'd love for you to do, this is going to blow your mind. Does anyone here have a website that you want me to look at and use? Just put it in the comments and I'll just click on whatever I can find. But I'm going to use this as an example. Okay, let's see.
Let's
Oh shit, so many. Okay. Let me scroll up a little bit. Okay, let me have a look here. Okay, so
So,
Billcarranza.com. Woo.
so expensive.
this is what I'm going to do. So this here is um is Atlas. Okay. So this is by ChatGPT, and they've been pushing it because they want to like overtake Google, basically, because Google's kind of using AI as well, but they want the main thing. So basically, it works the same as Google. And when I click on it now, I can go ahead and have a look at this person. So let's have a look at this person, Victoria Van Den Hoven, documentary style wedding photographer based in Germany and Switzerland. Now I'm going to have a look at this website. Can everybody see this all right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is now how the kids are using the internet. This is how people are using the internet, basically. If I'm having a look, I can scroll through. There's a lot of like this is like a very typical wedding website where there's a lot of really nice photos, but not a great deal of information. It's for lovers, not afraid to feel it at all. Um, you're ready to capture the most beautiful day. Photos are absolutely dreamy, and then contacts. So I don't really know that much about this person. I know where they are, and I know that they do wedding photography. I don't know their price range. I don't know if they do full day, half day. I don't know if they do engagement sessions or they do albums. I don't know. There's like so in my mind when I'm having a look at this person, there's a lot of questions. So what I can do is on this page, you just click Ask ChatGPT, and I'm gonna say, who is this photographer, and where are they based? So on your website now, I can start talking to it, and this is how I'll be using social media because there's a lot of things that you don't say on here. So it's easy for me to now go, okay, so they're based in Germany. They also frequent Switzerland and throughout Europe. So all these places. They're specifically a documentary style wedding photographer. Soulful weddings and elopements, documentary, candid, emotional storytelling, and destination weddings across Europe. Okay, so who is the actual photographer? What are they like? Oh, I did this the other day and it blew my mind. I looked up a photographer and it literally told me their address or where they live, their dog's name, everything. So who is she? She's a documentary style wedding photographer. She limits the amount of weddings she takes on. She's quiet, confident, calm, and observant. She's emotion led, not ego led. She's empathetic, emotionally intelligent, anti-performative, anti-fake, intentional and selective. In short, she's emotionally attended, calm and grounded, deeply present with people. Now, where's it get all this information from? Well, every comment she's ever left on social media, every time she's showed up somewhere, anywhere in the world, it knows. If you're someone that
Wow.
like likes to troll people on the internet, well, it's going to come up. I actually know a photographer that's an absolute troll and he's known for being a troll. And I actually looked it up and it said like he loves conflict. He loves, it literally basically said that he's a troll. So I'm going to ask
That
you a
has
few more questions.
that's blown my mind. Wow. Wow.
This is going to blow your mind more. Um,
That's
How
amazing.
much is her services? Well, let's see. Okay, so the website doesn't list this. This is really important here. So estimated price range for her is 6,000 to 9,000 euro, full day wedding. The estimates based on blah blah blah. Likely she's starting at 4,000 to 6,000. Is this true? For 1 to 2 day coverage. Second photographer, you're looking at around about 600 to 1,000. Why she doesn't like to list the prices? Quick gut check. Someone's hoping for 3 to 4. She's likely out of your price range. Don't get in touch. Photographers who direct pose, she's not a good fit. Okay. Who else has a similar style to her in the same area that I should book? So whilst I'm sitting here, it's also going to bring up all of her competitors. And I can actually start saying, like, what are their price ranges? So, hey, Carolyn, you should look up Carolyn. Actually, Sander, you should look up her. Actually, if you're in Germany, these are the people here. These people here, you can click on their things right here, and all the competitors are on that page right now. If you found this style and you want something slightly cheaper, let's find someone with the same style and slightly cheaper. It's gonna absolutely find that person for me. Okay, next thing I'm gonna ask. Perfect. Let's get intentional. What we're looking for here, same, all these things, but instead of 6 to 9,000, we're looking for someone to 4 to 6,000. Well, here's the best options for you. Okay. Often better value for intimate weddings. Oh, excellent. If your wedding's in Germany, okay. So I can learn a lot about this person from this. What other questions should I ask this person?
Jay, I have a question.
Yeah,
How do we make this work for us? How can we give it information
I'm
that we
teaching that
want people
today,
to know? Okay.
so don't worry. Because this is literally the worst thing that's ever happened on the internet, but also the best thing that's ever happened on the internet. And I will explain why. Let me just do one more website because this is how people are using the internet. So let me have a look at your websites. If I scroll down, let me see. We've got this person. Okay. Um, Newborn, magic. Let's go into here. So I'm just gonna ask, like, what packages does she offer? Where is she based? And how could I get a cheaper price? So one crazy thing is I can actually go on here on your website and I can ask it, how could I get a cheaper price? And it's going to base it on your emotional intelligence, on the way that you interact with the world, and it's going to give me a script of what I need to say to you so you give me a discount. So, and it's going to tell me what questions to ask you. It's going to know what buttons to push. So when I get in touch with you, I know exactly. And then from here, I can say, script me an email so I get a better price from this person, blah, blah, blah. And then cut, paste, send down. Pretty crazy. So this
Have you
person
looked at
here, she offers repeat client discounts. So we could ask those things. Here's her pricing. So here's all the buttons to her pricing because she's got them on secret pages, but we've just pulled them up now. If you've got your price guide on the internet, on Canva or anywhere, it's not a PDF, I can pull them up. So I don't need to actually go into those things. It will find those things, unless it's like embedded, hidden somewhere, which I haven't found any of those yet. But usually I can pull those things up.
Have you
Jay,
looked
can we?
at Google?
What's that?
Have you looked at Google and how Gemini or what is it called is literally doing the same with like even your PDF summaries if you send the price guide and everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have
So
you done contrast between the two?
no, I haven't, but I know ChatGPT's in front. And so when I look at that, I'm like, Google's going to go the exact same way for sure. And so the way that we interact with the world now, because this is the same as when social media came, people were like, whoa, so you got off apps. Sorry, you got off the internet and you're on someone's app? That's cool. So now it's sort of like instead of reading someone's like, if I'm like on Emily's website, for instance, hi Emily, instead of me going through and reading everything that she wrote, I can just say, like, tell me who Emily actually is and is she a good fit for me? And they'll go like, well, Emily's a Virgo and she's this and this and this. And it'll go into way more detail and it will tell me based on her history of the internet who Emily is. And then I'm like, okay, so it sounds like we're a good fit or not a good fit. And this is important because of one big reason right now, there's this thing that's happening, and AI doesn't like it. But basically, everyone is excited to use AI to create content, including writing their bios, writing their website copy, social media posts. And what happens is it's a giant loop and it's all connected. It's all in the metadata. It's a giant loop and it just goes, we don't know much about this person because they didn't tell us anything. Everything that it wrote, I already stole from other people's websites and clashed it together and just made another website. So we're just going to actually like troll and find information about this person. And sometimes the information is very wrong. An example, I looked up my old business, Free the Bird in Melbourne, and I said, what price range do you think this photographer will be in? And it comes up and says, well, based on an article from what's that website called? I can't remember, like the Wed or something like that. I can't remember. There's a specific website in Melbourne. Um, and I got featured on there once, and it's like backlinked it to me. So based on where Jai's been featured before, that website indicates that a normal typical wedding photographer in Melbourne is about $2,000 to $3,000. So you don't want to pay more than that. And that article is written about like 13 years ago. And so if someone gets on my website now and that website's about $7,000, they're now anchored because I didn't educate the clients on how much that I'm actually worth. I gatekept that in a PDF, right? So you can see a big problem now because it's trying to find information somewhere else and I didn't give it the information, which is telling me when I look at all this, those that are going to win in the next couple of years are those that are the creators, not the consumers. Those that consume are those that get on ChatGPT and use it for their creation. So it's like, write me an email, that's a consumer. Write me my text on my website, that's consumer. So we're using the platform. But a creator creates on their website. They create content, YouTube, Reels, things like that. They're creating it from their own brain, which creates a personal brand. And then ChatGPT goes, oh, there's someone out there that's actually creating. Let's use their stuff. Because don't forget, ChatGPT doesn't make all this up. The website it's going to write for Steph Marie is the website based off the 500 people in this room, clash it together and mix it, and they know that she's going to be happy. And someone else is going to have a look at a website and go like, I feel like that's my copy. And then after a while, everyone kind of looks the same. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
So what you showed us that works on websites, does this also work on Instagram pages and
hmm
LinkedIn pages? It
TikTok.
does?
hmm it's scraping
Mm.
everything. But the biggest ones that's scraping, and the biggest one is YouTube. The reason being is because YouTube has long form, boring content, which is what AI needs to educate itself on. And that's where we're going to find our biggest piece of the puzzle to be able to stand out massively. So we've got a few levers to pull to create better content, but here's the issue that I'm finding right now. Um, as you just seen, as I just pointed out, to me, in my humble opinion, this is the biggest shift I've ever seen on how people use the internet. Would everyone agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I can, like my mum, she doesn't know how to do online shopping. She uses Atlas and she literally, like you can go on there and just go like, can you order me 2 pairs of these socks? It does it. There's a checkout that pops up. And then she can just do it through that instead of the website. Website for her is too complicated, but she can book it through Atlas. And that's
Mm.
telling me if she's doing that, everyone is doing that, you know? So
Quick
that's pretty mind-blowing.
Quick question. Do you think it will ever pull up our prompts and that consumer stuff that we put in? Because, for instance, I don't know if anyone else does it, but I've looked at ChatGPT and I've tried to see, oh, how much do people charge for this in our area on average for like, and this, if you backtrack it, you can literally get how much we are pricing now because we kind
Mhm.
of go off of that information, you know?
Yeah. So
Do
you're
you think
saying it's like creating everyone the same?
No, what I mean is, do you think it will ever pull up our information that we put in and literally gave it? Not necessarily something we would want the consumers or potential clients to know.
Oh, yeah, all that information. Yeah. So there's no more hiding. So okay, here's an example. If you've had a bad review somewhere, maybe it's on Reddit, I just need to go on your website. I don't need to look for it anymore. I say, like, what's something bad that someone said about this person? Well, on Reddit in 2013, this person said this. So I'd be careful. So it like every single thing you can't hide from the internet now. If you suck at photography, it's going to tell you. Like I literally went on there and I went on a photographer and I was like, this photographer said they want to be known as a luxury wedding photographer. So I went on their website, had no word of luxury and nothing represented luxury. But in their minds, they're just saying that they want to be luxury. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that anymore. So I just asked Atlas, I'm like, for my luxury wedding, should I hire this person? And it just came up, absolutely not. There is some great luxury wedding photographers, and here's a list of 10 of them. And it just says, like, there is nowhere that indicates this photographer does anything luxury. And I'm like, that's exactly right. Because what we do now is we say like, "Oh, I'm a luxury wedding photographer," but we don't actually show that in any way. It's not on, there's no reels about how we're luxury. There is no blog posts about it. There's no YouTube videos about you being luxury. There's no collaborations with you and a luxury brand. So it's like there's a massive disconnect because what we're doing now is we're telling, but what we got to do is we've got to show. So what it's going to do is it's going to, in my opinion, the next like couple of years is going to drastically cut the industry in half. Kind of like it did. You guys don't remember, but in 2013, like a lot of my favorite photographers all went out of business because they just simply said, "I'm not going to get on social media. I'm not doing that." And then new favorite photographers came along, but it really did cut everything in half. But I think right now this is going to cut people in half as well. So that's kind of scary, actually. And I don't want to scare anyone because you're in the right room. Right now, we are very early on, and we can definitely create some stuff for AI that can make us stand out, which is cool. Okay, so we've got a few different levers, and I want to point to you the levers that I believe is really going to help you in 2026. The reason why I actually believe that more content, more smaller posts is not going to help you is because one, the algorithm doesn't care about volume anymore. It has so much good stuff to push around. So that's the first one. If you posted 7 times this week, it's no longer your advantage. But what it does want, it wants some quality depth that it goes, oh, this is something that's actually good. Like I love this. One post, not 7 posts, which means you can work a lot less because it's more intentional now. Now, I want to give you a quick backstory. This will blow your mind a little bit. But back in the day when the internet was invented, not that far back, but let's bring it forward into the future a little bit. When Google was invented, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but there were educators like myself, but like the last generation, that worked out how Google worked and it cracked the code. And then they said, okay, guys, there's a new world in front of us. All we have to do to stand out is we need to write for Google. And if we write for Google and fill it up with keywords, we're going to stand out, we're going to rank on Google, and we're going to dominate. Now, for the 10 years after that, including myself, because I did that, back in 2013, we dominated. Like I would get literally between 50, yeah, probably like 50 leads per day from Google. Because in 2013, ain't no one touching Google in the photography industry. It was such a foreign thing. It's like, why would I do that? And it was so easy to master. Does anyone remember that? Like writing blog posts for Google and doing and stuffing words in there? Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so the reason why that you wrote for Google like that is because Google was stupid. So talking to the machine, you had to dumb it down for the machine and talk. And so what it sounded like for us humans when I jumped on Kate's website would be like, hey, welcome to Kate Melbourne Wedding Photography, the Melbourne Wedding Photographer of the Year. Here is where John and Jesse got married in Melbourne with Melbourne Wedding Photographer Kate. And you'd be reading it going, what the fuck? And then you're like, oh, she's writing for Google. Does anyone relate to that? Anyone
Yeah,
read those blog posts?
100%. It used to kill me. I hated
Yeah,
writing
you
like
jump
that.
on and you're like, far out, man.
Yeah.
Or like even worse for me, it's like when I jump on a photographer's homepage and I'm like, okay, you've stuffed it with so many keywords, but so many too, not just one. And so I'm really confused. Like first one would be like Kate Stewart, destination wedding photographer. Then it'll be like Kate Stewart, England wedding photographer. Then Kate Stewart, documentary style wedding photographer. Then Kate Stewart, modern romantic wedding photographer. Then Kate Stewart. I'll be like, what?
Wow, over the top.
Yeah, I'm just lost now. And because we were trying to feed the beast, lack of better words, we confused our clients. So what AI has done now is the opposite. It's smart, just like a human. So what happens is the way that we write, we now need to write for a human, not for Google, not for the machine. So in a way, it's better. We can connect more, right? Because I no longer need to stuff words in there. It can read between the lines and understand what I'm saying. So if I get on there now and I'm writing something on my homepage, I can literally say like, "Hey, my name's Jai. I consider myself one of the best wedding photographer educators in the world, but I'm biased and I'm going to talk about myself like that. There could be many others, but this is what you're going to learn from me." And I can like speak from my own voice and my own experiences of whatever I want to say. And then AI now can read between the lines and go, "I think this guy is like this. And if you're like this, then I think you two are going to get along." So it can actually connect people. So, because this is our superpower, what we don't want to do is we don't want to go to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, can you give me some hooks for my website?" And then take those, put them on our website. And that now is the same as just like, lots of keywords stuffed into our website. And then ChatGPT goes, "Well, there's nothing to read here because we made all that gibberish." And so it's not from that person. So, what we want to do, I feel like I'm talking too much, but what we want to do is we want to connect deeper now with our clients everywhere we show up. And deeper doesn't mean you need to, it's not your deepest, darkest fears, or it's not like, you need to get crazy vulnerable where you're sharing every crazy little thing. It's actually showing up and being yourself, believe it or not. Like the more that you can do that, the more that's going to connect you with the right people. It's going to say, "Oh, you probably shouldn't book Emily, book Jai. He has a personality. Don't book Jai, book Stephanie. She has a personality. She writes for herself." So, yeah, it's going to be very different. Rebecca says, "I have such a good idea for my little hometown to reconnect with community and collab and share and bring valuable information that no one else is doing for my niche. So excited and keen to hear your thoughts about it and some tips and pointers in the right direction. Came up with and thanks for listening to your podcast." Cool. Um, will there be an email for the replay? Yes. Are blogs still useful? More useful than ever before. Way more useful. So if I get on someone's website now, um, everything that you write is training the AI about you. So an example is Morgan that owns Free the Bird now. If someone's asking what's his price range, I would be doing a blog post about my prices, my packages, my price range, and how I got there, and how that's the price to serve my clients. If someone's asking what's Jai's style as a photographer, I'd be doing a blog post to talk about my style. Not I'm a documentary wedding photographer, but like I love to take photos because I love to connect with other humans in the in-between moments, the moments that no one else ever even sees. It doesn't even seem like it's worthy of a photo, but I show up with my camera and I take that, and that's going to be something that people are going to remember for the rest of their lives. So that's me showing you my passion, not telling you my passion. Opinions on Subtract. Oh, absolutely. Substack. Things like that work well anywhere where you can publish, right? So I really want you to show people what you want to be known for and not tell people. And that's going to bring us on to the first lever. Any last questions before we move on to the solutions? What about asking ChatGPT to give you a template or guideline to write compelling and inviting captions? Yeah, like you can definitely use ChatGPT to give you guardrails to help you with things for sure. Like there's no doubt about that. Um, I would say the more that like you got to think about this. Like if you're going to be less of a consumer and more of a creator, um, writing things yourself, coming up with your own ideas is the same as you being like a photographer or like creating the reels or like it's like the making. But using ChatGPT for the other stuff, it's the same as scrolling. It's like you're consuming because not only are you asking it for some ideas, but everyone's asking for the ideas. And so I'm saying that's fine. But what I want to say is like if you want to stand out, I've brainstormed for years now with ChatGPT for some great marketing tips and ideas. It gives me the same ones across the board every single time. And then now I'm realizing when I see people executing on that, I'm like, man, it actually is not that creative. Is everyone's looping it back and looping it back, you know? So your superpower really is being the creator. And I think that's empowering because you guys are literally in the position right now for the new world. Like you know what it's like to create and to make things that connects with people, and everyone wants to connect. Susie, I feel that I'm doing a lot of this on my socials already. I guess maybe it's just a waiting game for the quality content to make a mark or delighting with content. No, I will Susie, we're gonna get clear today, and hopefully by the end of this you're going to be feeling really clear.
Jai, I
Yeah.
actually asked ChatGPT a question about 4 hours ago saying, I'm planning a wedding in Cape Town, which I'm obviously not, looking for a wedding photographer. Can you recommend the best of the best to
Yep.
see what it would spit out? It it pushed out a whole lot of exceptional wedding photographers in Cape Town, and I was not on that list. So then there were, I know who the kind of exceptional wedding photographers are.
Mm.
And it was a strange list, in my opinion. And so then I actually asked ChatGPT, well, I'm Shanna Jones and I'm a wedding photographer in Cape Town, considered to be one of the best in my country, serving the very high-end clients. Is there a reason why you haven't listed me?
And then it says,
And
I'm sorry,
what
you're
must
overlooked.
I do to ensure that I'm found when clients are searching on ChatGPT? And then they basically given me like a list of things to do, which I thought was quite interesting. And a lot of it was to get other people to speak about you and to reference you. So, to get on directories, and they definitely reference SEO articles as well, Google reviews, my Wedwezery, all that kind of stuff. But and explicitly writing in third person as well. So, and magazines, blogs, interviews, awards. Do you agree with that? Because it's sometimes quite tricky with ChatGPT because you don't know. Sometimes it gets it really wrong, as we
Mm.
know, and sometimes it's really accurate. So it's hard to trust at this stage, right?
Totally. It is hard to trust, but you got to remember it's only going off the information that is being given. And so if you go Cape Town wedding photography, there's not anyone optimizing for ChatGPT. So it's going like basically what you're talking about there is just standard trust, standard building a business. It's like, okay, does anyone talk about this person? Are they legit? Is there any reviews? Is there any social media content about them? Have they been featured before? And if there's not, well, I'm not going to recommend that person. They could be a scam. Like, so that's just like standard business practice. And so yeah, like if you actually want to be found by Google and ChatGPT, the more that you are known by the industry and the area and other vendors as well, of course, it's going to showcase you a lot more. But you don't have to talk about yourself in third person. You can actually write about yourself. Um, I think it's really important when you write about yourself. A lot of people say they use ChatGPT for refinements. There actually are some different AI things that you can use instead of ChatGPT. But if you do that, don't cut and paste it from ChatGPT because what it does is it embeds in the code
Uh,
to let ChatGPT know that this is
then that,
ChatGPT nonsense.
and then that's the loop
That's the
that
loop.
you're
It literally
talking.
looks at it and goes like, "Well, that we wrote all that, so that's nothing there." And so it's going to go like, "We're not going to show that person." Like, but so if you write it, you've got to handwrite it into your website and write content, and it gets on there and goes, "Oh my God, here's a real person in Cape Town right here." And then here's her prices. It happens to look at your blog, and it goes, "Here's where she's been featured. This is what she's got to say about herself. Here's her style." Because another example of that is you could say like, "Recommend me a Cape Town photographer." But it might be a different list if you said, I'm having a luxury wedding in Cape Town. What photographers should I reach out to? And then you've got some blog posts going like, luxury weddings are my number one thing. Here's the reasons why. Here's my style. Here's who I collaborate with. Here's what I do. And then it looks at your YouTube video and you're like, here's the 5 luxury venues in this area. Let's go and interview them. And then all of a sudden, ChatGPT goes, that's the number one person. Like there is no one else to compete with that person. She's a one of one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
think so.
it's
I'm
really
sort
easy
of,
for us to become one of one right now because think about this. Cape Town, um, 2005, Google just came out really and starting to go mainstream, and no one's on Google in Cape Town. That's what you are right now with AI. I can almost guarantee not one other photographer has even contemplated for the next 3 years to think about optimizing for ChatGPT. So if you want your whole next few years to be booked out, you only need to do this one strategy.
okay. Thanks, Jai.
Yeah. I thought ChatGPT is going to help my business grow, but it's kind of hurting it. No, actually, it is helping you grow because if everyone in this room is using it for their copy and everything, guess what? It's easier for you to stand out now. So can you grow? Absolutely. It's just not the way that you think. Because if everyone's doing the exact same thing, then also doing the same thing is not going to help you grow. Does that make sense? But everyone's using it. All our clients are using it. Next year, they're going to bring out ads on it. So yeah, it's going to like blow minds, I think. Okay, now I just want to go not there. I've got a couple of levers for you to pull, and we are going to get straight into it. Desktop, presentation, present. Okay, can you guys see this? Yep, red screen. Okay, so lever number one, this is what's going to help us stand out big time, is what do you want to be known for? Like, what is it that you want to be known for? And I want to brainstorm with you right now. So, what we're going to choose is one thing that we want to be known for. And I'm sure most of you guys already have it written on your website. Unless you've got like lots of things. I'm a destination photographer. I'm this, I'm that. Oh, it's snowing outside and I'm getting hot. Makes no sense. Who wants to tell me if someone could go on ChatGPT and find you, what would you want to be known for? So you become the one of one. Jenna says documentary style photography, Tamworth based photographer, capturing real moments, film photography, fantasy photography, make my clients feel seen, comfortable in front of the camera, colorful, creative portraits, Colorado true to color wedding photographer. Cool. Cinematic wedding photography, the one worth giving all your money to. Crystal wins. I struggle with this hard. I have a portfolio career that blends photography, strategy, and design. I'm intersecting all three, which is a rare mix. That's good. Luxury wedding photographer. Wedding photos that are emotional and real, empathetic, artsy, documentary. Queer wedding photographer, dreamy wedding photographer, curated stories, documenting the day of your life. Be a storyteller that leaves a genuine connection, spiritually and genuinely. I want to be known for how to make people feel, how I capture those memories. Okay, so Amber, you want to be known how you make people feel. How do you do that at the moment? What's your strategy on how you get that across to the world? I don't know if you can unmute yourself, Amber, or write in there. Bye, Abby. All right, someone else. David, the go-to Christian wedding photographer. How do you do that currently?
Hey, I'm not really sure to be honest. I'm still starting out. I think on my website that I'm writing copy for at the moment, it's going live soon. I'm kind of addressing how Christian photography helps the clients feel, you know, connected to, sorry, I can feel connected to them through sharing the same values as them.
Hmm. Cool. So you're writing something about it on your website.
Yep.
Is there, have you thought about the content that you're creating? Like, do you publish anywhere?
Content so far is just like posting photos of the wedding. I'm still, you know, getting into figuring out what photos and reels and content I'm going to post. So still figuring that out.
Okay.
But I'm thinking of doing like POVs of the day. Um, yeah.
All right. So this is a perfect case study because David is just starting out and basically he's taken the same path that we all did, right? So we got a bit of an idea of who we want to attract. And then we start posting some behind the scenes and a couple of photos and hope for the best until we find our feet and we sort of move forward. So what I will say is David can, he's only just started, but he could really stand out in the next 12 months. Like he could really blow up because not many people are willing to stand out and be different and actually create content around their one message. Now, imagine if David did this instead of just posting random photos and random reels and stuff, just because that's what everyone does and that's just the book. He went, okay, in 2026, I want to be known as the Christian wedding photographer, the number one Christian wedding photographer in Sydney. And to do that, I'm going to start creating content around what that actually looks like, why I do that, what other brands are in line with that mission, what does a wedding look like with those beliefs, what churches do you go to, who do you align yourself with, um, the clients, how do they actually find you? How do you serve them differently compared to, say, an atheist person? So I would like, you could make YouTube videos now just based on that thing. If you're looking for, this is from a perspective of a Christian wedding photographer in Sydney, here's are my 5 tips of top locations for photo shoots. This one because of the history of the church. This one because of the blah, 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 blah. And now, if I type in, I'm having a Christian wedding in Sydney, can you recommend me a wedding photographer? It's like, yeah, there's only one. There's a one of one. It's David. There isn't anyone else. Because while everyone else is just posting random photos and a couple of reels of behind the scenes, yours has intention. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Thanks so much.
So, what we want to do to be known for one thing, I know a lot of people just say, I want to be known as um, genuine connections. Jody, you want to be known for genuine connections in stunning landscapes, genuine family connections. Are you here, Jody? Could you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Oh, you are here? Okay. So how do you showcase that? How would I know?
Um, through my work, I'm currently redoing my website and redoing my branding, which has been very painful. Um, but it's the images that I showcase instead of showcasing like your typical family, everyone smiling at the camera.
Hmm.
It's stuff where it's in the middle of play. So we do a lot of play in my sessions. So it's like sandy, dirty kids on the beach with, wrapped up in mum and dad's arms, laughing, like they're looking at each other. They're not just looking down a lens.
Yeah. So do you like talk about that or do you like call it out or make content around that currently?
Um,
Or just more so
I've just had
showcasing
3
those
months off.
images, like the way you curate your images?
Yeah. So I've just had 3 months off because I had surgery and I'm like rebranding, redoing my website to come
Perfect.
back in 2026 and really like start fresh kind of.
Sounds awesome. Well, I mean, perfect time for this workshop. Um, So I would say if I seen your photos and it's like people messy and they're running around, I could also associate you with a documentary family photographer, unposed family
Mm.
photographer, like fun family photographer. Like there's like a lot of words that I could say to that. In fact, I would say from my feed anyway, I'm not a family photographer, but if I see photos from family photographers, it's usually those photos barely ever do I see a family photo where everyone's just looking at the camera. Maybe that's just my feed, but I just don't see that. So I would say just posting those photos alone, it's really adding to the noise because there's no message behind it. So what we need to do is we need to leverage the captions or even make reels and stuff and educate the clients, like we're showing, not telling, but why those moments are the most important moments, or how other people miss them, or why should they care about it, or why do you care about it? What gear do you use to be able to capture those moments? What time of the day do you do to bring out the connection of these people? What mood would they be in to get those connections? What music do you play? What prompts do you make? So what clothes would they wear? So I would start like thinking, okay, content around, I just want to be known as the genuine connection to nature photographer. And so now everything's going to be around that one series. So you would make a reel and go like, so here are 5 locations for your next family shoot coming from a genuine family connection photographer. So it's like coming from a photographer that prioritizes family connection. And I would talk about that all the time. You could get on YouTube and go like, if you're in Sydney, Australia, and you are looking for a family photos a little bit different, coming from a connection family photographer, I'm going to give you a whole new perspective with some new locations. Let's go. So that way, like people know now, oh, this is the one of one person. Like everyone else shows the same photos, but you are the person. So you become the authority in that space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sam
Yes.
said he wants
Yeah,
to
I
be
think
known. Oh, sorry, Jody, cut you off.
I was just gonna say there's a few like family photographers in my region that do the posed. Like they pose their clients beautifully, but it's all about, pose. Now we've got arms around each other, but it's all sort of looking at the camera.
Yeah, but
And their work is beautiful. It's just not.
so the algorithm right now, like, so it's so good that if I had a family and I was in your area, I wouldn't even see those people because it's a whole different niche almost. So it's kind of interesting because you don't like you might see what everyone's doing around you, but what the algorithm's doing now is like, oh, this is exactly what Jai wants to see. So it's going to show me you and real similar stuff to you. If I liked your post, it's going to show me another post that's very similar. If I type in family photography, it's going to find, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
no longer good enough just to showcase slightly different photos. Like we need to actually dive into our actual niche. Like what do we want to be known for?
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The blog
Thank
post, the
you.
YouTube, the Instagram. Um, Sam said that he wants to be known for 8mm film. A lot of people don't know what that is, especially younger people. And so to be one of one, no one's making content about that. Like if I was Sam, things I would do is I would make a content series on Instagram of like how weddings can be shot with from a perspective of an 8mm film photographer or videographer. And then I would like showcase some of those things or I'll showcase the gear or where like I'll do a reel of just like come with me today as I go and get my film developed. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when it's scanned. This is how I deliver it to my clients. So people get excited about it. Come with me today when my clients first see their 8mm film. They've probably never seen anything like this before. It's very different to digital. It took a little while to get here, but here it is. What do you think of the results? YouTube videos. You could do so many YouTube videos of like, have you thought about doing some 8mm film? Or if your videographer actually called you out saying like, would you like some 8mm film? What does it actually look like? Well, today from an 8mm film I'm gonna show you exactly what that looks like. And then you could go into why does it take longer? Why would anyone care? Why do you care? What does it look like? Where do you get it developed? What gear do you use? When does it come from? What's the history of it? So all of a sudden you'd have so many content ideas, but everything needs to be about that one thing. So you become the one of one. So if I went on there and said, scale the earth for an 8mm videographer because I'm getting married in Soho and I want the best of the best, who is it going to be? It's going to go Sam, fly him in. He's clearly the one of one. Does it make sense to you guys? Okay. What do you want to be known for? Okay, let's just because this is a really important little bit, but a lot of you guys said you want to be known for, and I feel like some of the things that you said may be a little bit generic. Um, wedding photos that are emotional. Luxury wedding photographer, like that, Samantha. Luxury wedding photographer. Um, how can we brainstorm that so you become one of one? Because instead of trying to hit everybody, tell me a little bit more about your actual niche. When you say luxury, you're talking about $100,000 plus weddings, like actual luxury? Are we talking about $30,000 weddings? 5,000? I mean, when I grew up really poor, just having a wedding photographer was luxury. Like, it doesn't matter if I paid him $5. It is a luxury, really. So, I mean, tell me, like, about that luxury. Like, who's your actual audience? Samantha Young. Or anyone else that wants to be known for luxury.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can now.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm trying to turn on.
Hey.
Here I am. Okay. Oh, I could not figure out how to unmute myself. Okay, I think my where I struggle is all of the things that I strive to be with my photography, everyone uses. So like whenever people I just feel like
Oh, sorry, Samantha. I think I've lost you. It's gone on mute, maybe. Can anyone else hear it? Just me. No.
Maybe it's connected to a Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah, it could be connected to Bluetooth.
what about now?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay. I'll start from the beginning. So I
Okay.
feel like the words, that have been used so far, I like really strive for that in my photography. Um, documentary, feelings, emotions, like all the things that, I mean, it's popular. Like if you look at, you can kind of see that the trends change among photographers throughout the years. And you can see
Mhm.
that like we might not have the same edit or the same shooting style, but it's all very linear and it's similar. And so I think like where I struggle is like finding words that like documentary is what I strive to be and how to shoot. Um, but
Is it though?
I don't want to blend in with the noise, like you're
Okay.
saying.
So, well, we'll go back to you want to be known for luxury.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this luxury, like what lights you up and who do you actually want to work for? Like tell me
Yeah.
about your clients.
So yeah, I guess that would have answered your original question. Um, I'm really into wedding design. So like I
Okay.
find that the luxury higher end weddings, which I do like what you asked clarification about, like what even is luxury? That's a great. I feel like any wedding that really prioritizes having like a design team where they
Hmm.
really care about um, high end venue, amazing florals, the design aspect of it that really make it just like a beautiful scene to look at. Like those are really fun to photograph, obviously, because
Wow.
they're
Okay,
gorgeous.
let me just cut you off for a second. So your definition of luxury is very different to my definition of luxury. And
Uh-huh.
so what's really interesting about that is something that lights you up is something that doesn't light me up. But I would hire a luxury wedding photographer, but I wouldn't necessarily hire you because what you love is design, aesthetics, what it looks like. And so I would say your niche, actually, coming down to it, is those that prioritize a place, a feeling, a setting that feels a certain way. Aesthetics are important to you. You want that luxury feel when you walk in, the vendors you curated, the venue that is on point of exactly how you want your guests to feel.
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so so luxury is such a because luxury could be just like how many watches did you have, So
True.
um Or how much money did you
Yeah.
spend? But you're not necessarily saying that like spending more money is the answer because someone might spend less money, but they come with the same aesthetic as what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
what I would do if I was you, I would brainstorm to be a one of one in the world that no one else can touch your niche because you're going to be at the very forefront of this. I would be thinking, okay, I want to go hard on like talking about and creating content around why aesthetics and design is one of the most important things when it comes to weddings. Now, you can create reels around the history of design or even like the history of wedding dresses. How did we get here today? What about the rebellion phases of when people started wearing black or different colors? Where did it actually come from? The trends, the styles. I'd love to come to your feed to come and see the new trends and styles for 2026 because that's something you care about where others don't. And so when you become the authority of that, then it's easy for me to know why I would book you or what it is that you bring to the world, you know? Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah. Very helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So your bio could literally, instead of saying luxury wedding photographer, which is just like, let's just throw a stone in the ocean, you could say
Right.
like wedding photographer that prioritizes aesthetic and design over everything else. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. So if I'm a designer and I love aesthetics and maybe I'm a director of movies and stuff like that, so it's one of the most important things to me, and I like type that in ChatGPT, you're the person that comes up because now for 2026, all your content can just be that one message.
Yeah.
So if I was going to make content, instead of like posting 7 times this week, I'm going to be like, I'm going to post 2 reels this month. That's it. But those reels need to be pushing home the idea of why style and design is one of the most important things. And I want you to copy from our other industries. And here's an example. So I have a business called No Skin. We trialed this out for something. It's our most viewed reel actually at the moment, or ever. And it's this one.
Years, people have been putting coins under the straps of their loafers. But who was the first to do it? And more importantly, why did they do it? So this story starts in the 1930s when Americans were visiting Norway. Now, hanging out in local
Okay.
fishing villages where they
Yeah.
So the reason why it's interesting is because we are like, what do we actually want to be known for? And Tony, the CEO, was like, well, I want to be known for our design element, how much we care about the history and design of what we're actually bringing to the world and how we're evolving it. And I'm like, well, if I look at the content, dude, it's just a lookbook of photos, and I can't actually see that. It's not coming through. So then we started posting reels of like, well, actually, here's the history of the shoe. Why should you actually care? Why does it actually look like this? How did we actually evolve it? What styles does it look good with? How do you style it? Then all of a sudden we become a one of one, because it's
Mm.
like, why would you buy loafers from anyone else? You're going to buy it from No Skin. So I want you to really think about your content in the new year of just like, let's get rid of all the noise and all the hustle and all the extra work. Let's go deep for our clients, visualize that client and go, what if I could just talk to them? I don't need lots of views. I just like, how can I talk to that person that loves aesthetics over everything else? I'm thinking about my wife here because that's what she loves. Like what would she love? Things that she loves is like, okay, different styles, but she loves like different eras, and what that looks like and how that can like impact a wedding. So, for instance, like a mid-century theme for a wedding and what the furniture would look like, what venue choice would you have, what flower and color palette would you do, what kind of dress would you have, what would the groom actually wear on like a wedding theme like that? Like, so my
Yeah.
brain just starts thinking of all these things while everyone else is just shouting out like, "What luxury wedding photography? Here's another black and white photo."
Yeah.
You are actually the authority.
And
Well,
Jack, oh, sorry.
oh, sorry. I feel like that's I feel like you just have a way of like taking something that's like, oh, duh, and like just dumbing it down super easy to understand because I feel like what you just described is like going beyond like the filler words, like in
Yeah.
explaining like what literally is that, you know?
So
So I,
you're showing, not telling, because
yeah,
like a filler word is like luxury wedding photography. But whenever I see that, I'm like, I don't know what that means. And it
yeah,
means nothing to me because your luxury is very different to my luxury. But if you start
mhm,
doing that, I'm a follow straight away. And Riley said the same thing. Oh my God, I'd eat up that series. I would follow that until the cows came home because I'm not even getting married, but I'm like so interested in that stuff, you know. I
Yeah.
follow architects because they talk about that kind of stuff. I follow fashion designers. I'm not into any of that stuff, but I love it because I'm like, oh man, it's just so bingeable, Riley said, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
cool. Thank you.
It's really cool. And so what happens though, honestly, and I'm going to show you some examples of this, of how we can execute this, but it's so when there's so much noise and where everyone's on the scroll now, I notice that people love more intentional content that's slower and more boring. And I'm going to show you what that means. But it
Okay.
means you get less views. Maybe you're not going to get like 500 million views, but the views that people stop and watch that, like you know that that's the right person. The algorithm connected it to someone that was on Google going like, I'm having a vintage style wedding, like, and I want it to have an old school luxury vibe. Who should I hire? You know? And then your content's going to start coming up.
Okay.
Because and literally you're one of one. There is no one else on the planet. Like I mean, I look at content all day long. I've never seen anyone do that before. So when we think
Okay.
like you know, the world's oversaturated. I'm like, it's grossly undersaturated. It's just everyone is doing the exact same thing. So right now, there's more money to be made than ever before. It's just that
Mhm.
you have to stand out, you know, and it's easy to do.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right.
All right.
I have a great question about that, about the branding and standing out. So we all have certain things that make us unique. For example, I myself being a Latin, being a Mexican in Spain, I can just be that, right? Like I just focus on Mexican, of just like being real focused, or any Latin
Mm,
couple that want to get married in Europe. Uh, but I'm not really 100% passionate about that idea. It's just the easiest path for me because I'm already have like the Latin blood. So my question is, this differentiator that we have, shall it be like something we are 200% in love with, like this is our passion, or shall we just take like these gifts or these identity and things that we already have that no one else has?
it's such an important question, and it's one that I can't answer for you. You're going to have to answer that yourself. You're going to have to dig deep because, like what you're saying, on one side, you're really passionate about something. On the other side, we've got business, you know, and it's like the quickest route to money. But it's very possible to go towards what you want to be passionate about. You just have to be 200% in on that and unapologetically going towards that, you know. But it's going to be something you're going to have to answer yourself for sure. Personally, I would mix the two. So, for example, I would call out that you know, you're from Latin America and you are in Spain, and I would call out the style that you want to do and how the mix brings it all together so you're one of one.
All
And
right,
I think
so
that's really
just
cool.
mix up everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you, Jake. Yeah,
Jake,
sorry.
so
Yeah.
is it, I mean, and this might be a lame question, but does it matter what reels, what platform? TikTok,
It
Instagram,
doesn't matter, no.
YouTube,
Whatever you want to be on, LinkedIn.
yeah,
You
okay.
can do reels on Pinterest. You know, it's funny, and a lot of people laugh at that, but like I've got a client that has like 2 million followers on Pinterest and she just books on it and she's like, my mental health just completely changed because there's not one other photographer on the planet that posts reels on Pinterest. I'm the only one and I just book all day long. And I'm like, I know, it's amazing.
Wow.
I know another photographer that I'm working with, and they literally only post on LinkedIn. That's it. And they're like, man, it's amazing. They're all high paid clients. They're all
Yeah.
lawyers, doctors, and I'm the only one on there speaking their language. And it's just like, I don't need to compete. So this is like what I want to say is you need to be fully comfortable with making your content. And that means showing up where you want to show up, you know, and how you want to show up.
Yeah. And can you have more than one? Or is it literally only like, I mean, I've certainly that previous question spoke to me because I used to be a fashion stylist and a trend forecaster. So, you know, that's my natural gift and it's what I love and enjoy and
More than one
it's what I
message, you're saying?
Yeah, so the one other thing that's super important to me is care and connection with
Okay.
clients, you know, like to be super, I take less clients, 10 to 12, maybe 15 at an absolute push a year, and I give them a very, you know, connected experience, where I support them throughout the year with choosing a dress. They send me photos and they're like, I don't know which one to do. I've got these three things. Which one do you think? Can you help
Mm.
me? And I love it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say the nice answer that everyone in this room wants me to say is like, no, you can have lots of messages. But the evil, stubborn Jai that wants you to be successful, is gonna say, no, like I don't care, one message.
Okay.
And when I say one message, it doesn't just have to be one or the other. You can combine the two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So work out a way to combine the two because that becomes a superpower. Kind of like what we were saying before. It's like someone was like luxury wedding photography. And I'm like, yeah, like you still want that, but can you combine it with what you're passionate about? So then if you combine the two, you're like, holy shit, this is a one of one person. So someone that loves aesthetic and design in a luxury way, oh, that's a message right there. That's a whole new niche.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
Jai, can you help
Mhm.
us with how to clarify that message or what we want to be known for? Yeah. So the thing that you want to be known for, um, it's kind of a hard one, really, because it's like if you're digging deep into your gut of like, if someone could search for a single term and they found me, or someone described me for the way that I show up or the way that I work or who I work for, what would that be? And there's many different niches because, like, just before someone had a religious niche, like they didn't say I'm a Sydney photographer, they said I'm a Christian Sydney photographer. So that's what their niche was. So it can be on geography, it can be like Sydney, it can be on style. So I'm like documentary. It could be on status, so it's like I'm luxury. It could be on yeah, style, so it's like I'm artsy. It could be on emotion, so it's like connection. So there is so many different niches you can't like, or then it's on photography if you're a photographer. So it could be like I'm a wedding photographer, I'm an elopement photographer, you know. But what we really want to do is we want to branch out a little bit and think of the thing. It doesn't, don't think about the industry and what everyone else is doing. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to you. To become one of one is irrelevant because no one else is doing anything. Like I can jump on right now and there's 50,000 photographers that say they're a luxury photographer, but their social media doesn't represent that. The website doesn't represent that. Content doesn't represent that. Everything's written by ChatGPT. The content's just behind the scenes photos, a couple of random reels. So you're not competing with that person because they're competing with everyone else doing that. So what I'm saying now is you're going, okay, I'm going to dominate this space and become the authority. What does that look like for me to do that? Like maybe someone on the other side of the world's going to hire someone else because they're closer, but they're still going to follow you because they're getting reference from your work, from your teachings, from your voice. Now, once you want to dominate a space, it becomes your message. It's the thing that you talk about all the time. An example is if anyone knows the content creator Gary Vee, when I look at his content for the last 10 years now, he just always talks about you're never too old. You're 40, you're too young. You're 50, you're too young. You're 60, start a new business. And he talks about it over and over and over and over. And now when I think about like, oh man, I'm feeling like I'm too old, I go look at his content because he's literally talking to me. It's the one message that no one else picks up on. So, you can brainstorm it with your clients, you can brainstorm it with your friends. Um, but one thing's for sure, if your website right now says like documentary, luxury, destination, connection photographer with great client experience, and it's like all these filler words, you got to know that you're standing for nothing. Like that's going to kill the business. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of all the filler words and go like, what's the one word I want to be known for? Riley says, as a non-photographer creative house, I want to leave the people, local community, and earth better than I found it through beauty, connection, service, and design. There we go. So, according to Riley, if I subscribe to her and listen to her, through beauty, connection, service, and design, that can halve it and create community and leave the world in a better place. Now, if I like follow her on Instagram, she now can create content around that message over and over and over. She can talk about design in her city has brought people together. This is how. The design of a dinner table. If it's round, people don't, there's no one at the head of the table anymore, and it feels more inclusive, and the conversations go for longer. compared to a square one or one with a different dynamic. So much content she can create around that. Like she could say like, "Hey, I'm Riley, um, and I host parties, which she does, dinner parties. Here's a few things that you probably didn't know for you when you host your next dinner party. Opt for a round table instead of a square one or a rectangle. Reason being, no head of the table. Everyone feels included. Everyone's happy. Number two, so then she can like go hard on whatever that is. Niche or niche?
Hello. I
Yes.
I just wanted to share. It's not a question. Um, I want to share about two photographers that I just discovered lately through very unconventional areas, which is TV. One is TV, one is Instagram. The one of TV, basically her niche is to take pictures of babies, but I mean literally when they're being born. So she goes into the hospital, into the room with the parents. The very, very details and a bit gross pictures, I would say. But for me, that's why she was posted on TV, because it kind of raised these ethical subjects. However, um, she said something that was her motto, which was people spend so much money on weddings that end up 50% in divorce, and they're not willing to take photographers for the most beautiful event of their life when they have a kid. I don't
Mm,
have kids, but it hit me so hard because I was like,
that
oh my God, this
resonated.
is so true. It resonated. I don't even have kids, and I found the pictures way too realistic for me. And I was like, if I got hit, she probably hit so many other people just by one sentence.
Mm.
And I never heard anyone doing that, at least in France. I never heard that, or me at least. Maybe people who are interested in that know that.
You know what's
But
funny?
it's,
You are like, I've never heard anyone do that niche before, but someone that does that niche is like, man, it's just oversaturated. So it's so funny because like we forget that we're one of one. Like I've actually literally talked to a friend that was getting married, and I was like, where they were getting married, they're like, I don't think there's any like wedding photographers around this area. I think it was like in Florida or something. Might have to fly someone in. I'm like, man, there is so many there, and they all think it's oversaturated, and you don't even know they exist. It's amazing.
but but even the cinematic photography, it's super, super trendy now. You see it everywhere. Everyone who starts wants to do that.
Hmm.
I've talked to so many friends who never saw that kind of pictures before. And
Exactly.
my Instagram is flooded with it to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so shit. I'm so bad. And I show them to people, normal people, and they're like, oh my God, I've never seen that. It's so, I mean, we are drawn in a feed that makes us believe, or made me believe at least, for a long time that, oh my God, I'm so behind. And
Mm.
it's not true. And just one last thing, and I'm done. The second photographer is an Asian photographer. I think she's Japanese. Doesn't have that many followers, 2,000 followers. She's booking experiences. So basically, she joins you in some countries and she travels with you for 10 days and she takes pictures. And her pictures are so normal, if it makes sense. Not normal in the bad way, but like so authentic, so real
Hmm.
that she literally has to book maybe 15 shoots a year, and she's
That's it.
good.
Yeah.
She's good. And it's so anti-trend, anti-everything, anti-posting to post, anti. It's so refreshing, I think. So it's just to say, like, it's very hard to hear your own voice in all this mess. Super, super hard. And sometimes you're like, oh, I love the cinematic style, and you shoot it, and you're like, but this is not cinematic. This is completely different, and it didn't resonate. And you're so scared to be yourself sometimes because you're like, who will care about sunsets and the blue sky and the pink sky? This is so 2010. But then you discover a photographer who the whole niche is about that and works so well. But that was me. Sorry,
I love
I'm done.
that.
Thank you.
What you're sharing is such an important message because, like, you know, especially when I first got on here, I showed everyone what the problem is. I'm like, the problem is people can just find your competitors and everything else, and everyone knows the problem you get on social media, and our feed is full of the same people, and we compete and we compare, and then lose our own courage and we get discouraged and we think there's no point for it anymore. And like, how do we stand out? But actually, man, it's easier to stand out than ever before. It's so exciting right now. We have to turn off the noise though. So we step back into our superpower of like when we first started on our career. Like, how do we get back to that being naive? And I honestly think this is the way. We get naive by just going, okay, what is the single message that I'm going to dominate and be the head of? And then once I do that, everything's going to be around this one thing. Um, then nothing, none of the other noise matters. And I think that's really, really cool. David. Um, David, you're looking to join the business map, but you're looking for Kevin's. I don't know where you found that actually. We haven't had referrals for a long time. Actually, it never worked, so that's actually a big surprise. I don't think we really have had referrals going on. Hey, but just send me a DM. I'll send you all the information. And if you guys do want help with any of this stuff over the next 12 months, this is something I'm going to be working hard on because I'm going to dive into my messaging. And I got a big unrealistic goal. I wrote a book this year. Next year, I'm going to publish that book and I want to hit New York Times bestseller. And for me to do that, no Australian's ever done that before. So I'm going to go hard on this type of content. And I want 30 people to join me so we can like brainstorm on WhatsApp throughout the year on our messaging and how we get everything working, which is going to be cool. And everyone that's in the business map now, don't worry, you all get to be part of that as well. So it's going to be a fun group. But yeah, if you need help brainstorming all that kind of stuff, man, I am so keen on that. Now, I want to show you a couple of things. Leverage. So I want you just to keep thinking, it's not like bang, this is what you're known for, but please, I'm going to give you some ideas and I want you to really think about that messaging. I want to show you Hannah really quickly. If you guys don't know Hannah, she's Wild Faith Photo. Essentially, back in 2013, she started a business, 2023, sorry. And one thing that Hannah did, I'm not sure if Hannah's here right now, but when she joined, she had like I think she had about like 5,000 Instagram followers, and then it bumped up to 25,000, and then she hit 100K in within 5 months of running her business. And I think she's up to like 60,000 followers now, but she like really blew up. But what happened was, I asked her this question in a coaching call in 2023. I was going hard on this. I was like, you've got to be known for one message. We can stand out now if we do this and nothing else. And Hannah was like, well, I want to be known for like cinematic photography, cinematic storytelling. And I'm like, okay, so that's the only thing, like nothing else. Everything's got to be to do with that, Hannah. And if you can do that, every piece of content, just thinking about that over and over, then there's nothing that can ever stop you. Like you will stand out. And now, so she did do that. And if you look at her page and feed today, everything, I know these are like courses and stuff, but literally everything's to do with cinematic storytelling. Whether she is saying it in a bio, whether it's what she writes, whether it's her course, whether it's like, talking about framing, talking about locations to choose, talking about time of day, like whatever it is. But she was just like, I'm just going to go cinematic storytelling and I'm going to dominate that space and I'm just going to keep doing it until I'm known as a cinematic storyteller. Does anyone know Hannah and her work? Would you associate cinematic storytelling with her? Yeah. I mean, how easy is that? Someone said like, "Oh, I'd love to be known as cinematic storytelling, but it's oversaturated." But Hannah said the same thing in 2023, and I was like, "Well, I honestly think if you just went hard on this, you'll be known for it. That's how easy it is. It's just that we don't do that. If I jump on someone's Instagram right now and you're saying this is what I want to be known for, chances are I won't find anything in the highlights that represents that, or in your stories today that represents that, all the last 7 reels that you posted that represents that, or the last captions that you wrote that represents that. And if I jump on the homepage of your website, it's probably the same. If I have a look at the blogs, probably the same thing. If I look at your YouTube channel, probably the same thing. So you can imagine now, if I went to Hannah's YouTube, she's probably talking about storytelling, cinematic storytelling. If I went on a website, she's probably talking about cinematic storytelling. If I went on Instagram, yeah, her next Instagram post is probably going to be about cinematic storytelling. Good chance of it. I'm going to follow her because I know what I'm going to get. Does that make sense? So, I mean, the results speak for themselves, obviously, on that. Um, I want to show you some stuff. Oh, Fanny, you got a question? Sorry.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
As you were talking about the girl who was talking before, I'm in the car, so I didn't know
Yeah.
which one. But I think also when we're talking in like on the internet and being on socials and everything right now, I think sometimes when we need to put on other kind of glasses to be from the customer's side of the thing, to like search for those things, because we were talking about everything feels so oversaturated, and all we see is like the thing we are doing. So like we need to like feed with the things that our clients are searching for.
Yes.
Or
You're
do you understand?
Yeah. No, you're 100% correct on that. It's like stepping out of our industry and stepping into understanding what our clients are actually seeing.
Yeah, and be like the top of the game in that kind of topics.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
man. And like when you talk about topics and stuff, actually, I've been doing this a little bit with some of you guys that are in the Done For You in the business map. And I know you're in here today, but sometimes like I'll jump on ChatGPT and I'll be like, give me 20 blog post ideas for this niche as a wedding photographer. And the ideas that come are pretty good. But I would say when I look at them, I'm like, I could find this on everyone's website. And so when I go through and I'm like, what would someone actually be? Let's see. What would, if I'm thinking Lilu, my wife, what would she look for if she's looking for a luxury aesthetic design wedding? And then I would start thinking, oh, I know what she would be looking for. She'd be looking for like mid-century stuff, furniture to choose, venues to go to, color grading, like so like different types of cameras you would use. So there'll be so many things that she would be thinking about that ChatGPT wouldn't be thinking about. And then I'd start
yeah,
writing down those to answer the questions for Lilu, on that niche.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
So
really, really
that,
important.
yeah, so that's what it was, what I was going to share. Thank you.
So good. Hey, thanks for all the love in the comments too, guys. Really appreciate that. And I've got two more really big levers to pull. So you got heaps of stuff that you're gonna be walking away with today. So don't worry. Really good stuff. Is everyone doing good? Anyone bored? That's good. I did tune into a workshop not too long ago and I was like, oh my God, I was so bored. I was like, dang, just like slide after slide. I was like, I can't do this to people. We need to have some fun. Okay, so let's recap right now. Whether we do it today or we do it in the next couple of weeks or something, we're just going to sit in our thoughts, talk to our clients, talk to our friends, talk to Jai, get into his DMs, talk to anyone, and just go like, what is the message? What do I want to be known for? So that's number one. Then number two, with that, I'm like, okay, so what can I do with that information? Like how do I create content around that? Does anyone feel like that? Like what content do I create? Daria, Rebecca, Kate.
Hey, so I actually listened to this one lady, and she is an Italian expert luxury stuff, what is like luxury and whatever, blah blah blah. Just like what marks high-end clients who want to like get, I don't know, some, product. And it's usually like not really like luxury, like high-end expensive stuff. It's more about that it's in shortage, like Lamborghini. Like you cannot
Yeah.
buy whatever like red
Like
Lamborghini.
Rolex. You can't go and get it
Right,
from the shop. You have to like actually get on
right.
a wait list. Yeah.
Right, you have to go on the wait list and stuff like that. Oh my God, I lost the train of thought. I got so so she was talking about um how to platform, like how to use different platforms to be seen.
Mhm.
And guys, like I think this is really gonna be booming, like TED Talks, like how you can connect with a bright idea no matter what the idea is, as long as it's like, authentic, doesn't matter if it's like scientific or it's like from your personal experience, just like a story. And if you can use that platform as well for, to carry your message into the masses. And I was like, oh my God. It just like, something in me, I was like one day, I guess I will have to go into the public speaking, because it's very rare that people can just like go in front of, like, especially photographers. I feel like me, myself, I want to kind of like hide behind the photography. I want to be in the moment for someone, but also I want to carry a message of my own through like a legacy. And I thought about that platform. This is so unusual. I don't think it's very saturated, especially in comparison to TikTok or like Instagram. I'm not a fan of those platforms. I cut myself from social medias, to be honest, because as previous girl, she was talking about newborn photographer, and I was like, when you were talking, I felt deeply for you, because it's like you lose your own courage, your own voice, because you see so much already like happening, and it's just like you want to hear your own self. So I just like cut on the social media. I'm like, okay, I just like don't want, it's like horses, you don't want to see a lot of things. You just want to like focus on your stuff. So yeah, just wanted to share that.
Really good perspective. I love what you're saying. And thank you for sharing it with us as well. Um, yeah, it's really so basically I'm like sort of saying the same things. Like what you're saying is like you get to share your idea with the masses, and that's exactly what I want you guys to do. Because like I said at the very beginning, it's not about the loudest, it's about who's the clearest. And so if I know somebody that is actually a luxury photographer or actually in whatever niche it is, and it's clear, it doesn't need to reach that many people, but it's going to reach the right person. Okay, got lots of questions coming through. I'm going to show you some more stuff. Let's get into share. Um, Lots of questions. Why is this so small now? Oh, okay. Okay, lever two is series. Can I make this big or what? Can you guys see this okay? Yep. Yes, okay, cool. So when I talk about series, this is going to make it easy as possible. Did we already go through our messaging? Yeah. So the series is going to be how are we going to show up and showcase this stuff? So I wanted to share with you just something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I think it's like the most underrated mother trucking thing on the planet. Okay, number one series. You got to know now. Uh, Back in the day, I want to sound old all the time. Back in the day, people used to watch TV. So it was like this screen that's on a wall, kind of looks like this. And you used to get a TV guide, and at 6 p.m. you could watch The Simpsons or The Neighbours if you're in Australia. You could watch The Office, probably if you're in the UK, I don't know. But you used to binge watch things, and a lot of the times it's boring. It's not really hitting dopamine. You watch it whilst you're cooking, whilst you're just lounging on the couch. You guys relate to that stuff? Well, I would say, there we go. Tell me all your favorite TV series. I would say boring content is winning in 2026, big time. Now, I've done some massive research on this as well. But who here consumes boring content? Now, let me tell you what boring content is. You have, maybe you're a little bit spicy and you got some obsession about some random side quest hobby that you love, and you go on YouTube and you secretly watch these long ass videos on whatever side quest video thing that you're into, and you don't want anyone else to know about it, and you know it's boring, but you can't stop watching. You watch it for 30 minutes and then you watch another one. Does anyone have that? Yes, boring content. What? Does anyone go and watch boring content. So I'm gonna give you
Yeah,
some
no, me,
examples.
100%.
You
I
do?
will spend like 4 or 5 hours of a guy just beyond the trees.
Yeah,
And my wife comes and be like, why are you watching people like doing nothing, just like prepare tea or something on the trees? Like, I love it. I don't know why.
exactly. My mum watches people on YouTube cleaning, and she especially loves doing that while she's cleaning. So she turns on the TV and watches, and then she's like in the kitchen cleaning, and she's watching hacks on cleaning, and someone just cleaning their house. My friend Morgan, that used to work for me, he just watches people playing golf for an hour. They play golf, and then they walk to the next place to go get the ball, and they're talking in between. And I'm like, dude, this is the boringest stuff. And he's like, no, it's really good. It's not though, right? I randomly got obsessed because I'm definitely a little bit neurospicy. But I got targeted one day on Instagram about like RC cars, like remote control cars. And I was like, well, I'm going to check this out on YouTube. I check out the first guy. He's got 4 million followers on there. The boringest videos you could ever imagine. Millions of views on each one of them. And people going like, please post more. This is amazing. This is gold. The last video went for an hour and it's him racing around a car down the street and just talking to the camera. Boring as stuff. And I couldn't stop watching it. I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm gonna put it on while I'm cooking. And I'm like, hopefully no one sees me watching this, you know? Hopefully Lulu doesn't walk in, catches me watching RC cars. Um, anyone else got any boring ones? I mean, some boring ones that you probably watch maybe is like someone walking through a wedding day, shooting a wedding. No one else is gonna like that, but you do. John Branch,
Jai
exactly.
Long podcast.
Exactly, right? Long form, boring content that you can put on when you're going for a run, you're cooking food, you're just chilling. But you know, anyone that's watching that, I know for a fact that a lot of people buy RC cars through this guy. And you know what? I'm even thinking about buying one. I mean, this dude's not even selling them, but he's like, if I was going to buy an RC car, I'd buy this one. I'm sitting here going like, man, I really should be buying that RC car, you know? So when I look at that, I start looking around and going like, whoa, like viewers is very different when it's intentional like this. Okay. My question is it actually helpful for businesses? Yeah, it's so helpful. Okay. Um, in so many different ways. I want to show you some examples and stuff, but there are multiple examples on this. I'm going to give you one quick little example. Let me just open up. This is a real random example, but YouTube. Let me just get it in. This is a real random example. Let me just open it up real quick. But brands are also posting. So back in 2021 and 2020, when the world went into lockdown, I started making boring content for my wedding photography business by going live on YouTube with a DJ. And I'll do it at a venue because everyone was in lockdown and stuff like that. But I'll just go like, hey, if you've organized a wedding, you got to push it forward or whatever. Join this DJ session. I'm going to be there. I'll just be there talking to camera and stuff. And then we have some music and everything. And I'm going to showcase a few different like vendors. And we showcased a bunch of vendors. We also showed people how to make drinks and stuff. And all these people in lockdown, they'll just watch it and they're like, oh man. And then after a while, they actually booked me as a photographer because they're like, I actually came for the DJ. I knew that person, but then I came and I seen you and that was cool. So like examples of brands doing stuff like this is let's go like Amy D. Leon. They have a turntable in their shop in Brooklyn where they just broadcast, once every while, someone DJing in the shop. And it goes for like an hour or maybe 2 hours or something. But you can put this on whilst I am sitting there and I'm cooking dinner or doing something. But what's interesting is this has nothing to do with their brand, even though maybe they're wearing some of their brand and stuff, but it does like create the culture. This person shares this and goes like, oh, you got to, I went down and I played at this address, blah, blah, blah. And they're actually collaborating now and creating boring content around their fashion stuff that's indirectly going to be selling that fashion. That sounds like really random to you guys, but when I look at this, I'm like, ooh, this is a whole different way that we can actually do things. An example, if I'm a photographer and let's just say that I am like into aesthetically designed stuff, like I'm like, oh man, I love luxury design. And then I go, you know what? I'm going to collaborate with a venue and a DJ, and we're going to record a really cool long form video of what it looks like with my favorite DJ in my favorite venue as from a luxury photographer that's into aesthetics. And I'm going to design the look and how it all looks and everything. And then you just make a boring long video on that. And then that starts getting shared around because people that are like, oh, I love that venue. I can finally see that. Oh my God, I love that DJ. I can finally see it. Oh my, look, this is a photographer. They're like collaborating. I love what this all looks like. And so maybe you only get like 100 views. But I would honestly say 100 people that are watching that boring content is probably 100 really high quality people that you actually want watching that boring content. Does that make sense? So other boring content though, is, for example, I gave this example to Morgan. He is works for Free the Bird, owns Free the Bird, which is my old photography business in Melbourne. But I was saying to him, man, like instead of creating next year just like lots and lots of content like you do and like everyone does, is go do a styled shoot, do BTS like everyone does. I'm like, man, go intentional and instead of doing that, think about what you want to be known for, and then what venues carry that same belief and that same thinking, and then create some like 15, 20 minute long videos based on that. Like I would go like from a perspective of a Melbourne wedding photographer, I'm going to show you 5 secret locations. If you're getting married in Melbourne, that you should really know about. Come with me, let's go and find them. And straight away, I'm watching this, and then I start falling in love with Morgan. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm obviously getting married in Melbourne, otherwise, I wouldn't be watching it. And I'm interested in those things. So he might get like 50 views, but next month he gets another 50, and next month he gets another 50. In 1 year's time, he gets 200 views. And I'm looking at that, I'm like, man, he is getting some good, boring content there. Like people are looking at his face, and you're going to all the transcriptions from that YouTube video is going into AI. You're a creator now. So you're going to be known as that person because it's going to pull it up and go like, oh, there's only one person in Melbourne that knows this niche. It's this guy. Kate.
Hi, Jai. I just wondered with the long form content whether it needed to be like high end or because what one thing that I've done in the past is just with my client's permission done lives at wedding venues and just taken my followers on a little tour of the wedding that I'm
Perfect.
photographing and
Yeah.
just talking absolute shit most of the time, but a lot of people do follow.
Yeah, that's really, really boring content. That is like exactly what I'm talking about. It's
Okay.
just so easy. Like no one's gonna watch that unless they get married at that venue. And you're gonna dominate the Google search, the AI search, like you'll be the person. Because if I'm
Yeah.
going to like book a venue, say for instance here now I'm gonna go to Soho, I wanna like hire a place to do a pop-up shop when I like launch my book. And I'm
Mhm.
looking on YouTube for videos and stuff, and then there isn't any. But then I finally find one, and it's a guy just walking through from the last event, and I'm just watching the whole thing. I'm like, man. And
Yeah.
I look at how many like viewers are on this. I'm like, this is great. This has pulled someone in. That's exactly what I want.
Okay. Cool.
Can you give examples for family photographers or just outside wedding? Yeah, of course. Like, basically, like I don't know what your niche is with family photography, but I would be thinking about what are the main boring things that people would be researching or looking up when they're booking a family photographer. So, for an example, maybe you're a connection family photographer. So I would be going and doing some YouTube videos going like, if you're organizing some family photography here in New York and connection is the number one thing, you got your kids and your dog and you don't know how all that's going to work, well, follow me for the next 15 minutes and I'm going to break that down with you as we take a walk through the park and look at some of my favorite spots where we could get some photos. And then you just walk around. Maybe you got your camera here. Maybe you're using like an Insta 360 like this, like something tiny, and maybe you're just putting that around your neck or something. So you got another perspective. And then maybe you're using like an Insta 360, or maybe you literally just walking around with your phone and you can just talk about it and go like, I'm gonna go find some locations. These are gonna be some of my favorite ones. But here's tip number one. If you got a dog and a kid, it could be hard. Maybe we could have someone that's gonna wrangle them on the other side. Maybe we could bring some treats. Maybe we could bring, and then so that way, outfit inspo, yeah. That way you are dominating space, but be specific. Don't be not specific boring content is like what to do when it rains on your wedding day. It's like, dude, I live in California, it doesn't rain. Like, who cares? So it needs to be specific to you and where you are. Like what does Central Park look like on the first day of winter? Is it a good time for photo shoots? Is it a good time for luxury aesthetic vibes that you're looking for? Well, that side of the park is not, but this side is. Let me show you. Say you want to niche, be known for one thing, create the content or boring around that, but aren't an expert in it yet. Wait, why aren't you the expert? Who's the expert? The crazy thing is, everyone in this room, you are the expert though, So it's as much as that we don't want to admit that sometimes because we got imposter syndrome, but and all the rest of it, but you are a professional at whatever that you do, and you have a perspective, and that's the most important thing, and that's different to AI's perspective because that's the perfect perspective based on everyone's perspective, but you've got a perspective. And so the reason why I'm watching your boring content of that person playing golf or that person making some pottery or DJing or whatever is because I'm looking for the human connection there. That person cleaning their house. AI is not doing that. I want to see it. Um, and when I think
So
about
just
this, sorry.
so so I automatically think, okay, well, I've got a million ideas because I'm an ideas person, but I then
Love that.
start a battle with how do I actually do it?
Yeah.
So and then my like perfectionist thing starts to kick in, and then I'm like, shit, do I need an editing suite? Do I need to hire a camera crew? And I get into a bit of a wobble. So are you literally just saying imperfectly pick up your phone and say, for example, you go on a shopping spree to find 5 pairs of super cool wedding shoes if you are an edgy, fashion forward bride.
Yeah. I mean
Literally.
that
Like,
content is
how
perfect.
would you even edit it?
I mean, I would edit it a little bit. Like I'd probably like cut it together. Like I'd do, little scene, and then I'd probably do like a
Yeah.
little voiceover if I need to. But I wouldn't
Okay.
overcomplicate it, especially when you first start, because no one's expecting you to be cinematic and crazy.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
maybe you're gonna find your feet and you're gonna get more subscribers, and then after a while you'll be like, you know what? It's worth me paying to make 10 videos this year in 2027. And maybe the next year is when you like amp it up, you know?
Yeah.
But until then, I wouldn't overcomplicate it, especially because you're probably going to be getting 50 to 100 views. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but there are people that are going to book you. That's the difference. And it's going to be there forever. And it's also you're training AI about how you walk, how you talk, what you're interested in, what your message is.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Um, Jai, you talk about not using chat for doing your copy for the website. Is it better to type the text instead for the website, but it takes time to type everything? Can I use the voice transcribe thing in the phone so the phone will type out the text instead? Yeah, no, you could for sure do voice to text. Yeah, I think that'd be totally fine. A lot of these things are going to take time. There's no doubt about it. I'm definitely not giving you shortcuts of like here's how not to do any work and make lots of money. Giving you if you want to be sustainable for the next 5 years, like here's how to absolutely blow up and be in front of everyone. That's what I'm sort of giving you. What do I mean by training AI? AI learns from us. So AI doesn't know anything until I go, yes, I'm Jai. I'm a business coach based here in New York City. Then it goes, okay, so we know who Jai is now when someone asks it. So training AI it's trained by the creators and gives to the consumers. So what I'm saying is try and refrain, even though it's the easiest route of being a consumer and try and step back into being a creator again. It's going to be your edge. Create. Okay, I've got more slides for you guys. We've got more ideas. I want to give you some ideas here. Um, okay, social media. So boring content. So one message. So this is the way I think this should work for you in 2026. This is why I want to invite some people in to work with me as well. But one message. instead of just thinking I'm going to be reactive and just make up anything and just post some like behind the scenes or just some photos, I want you to really think about like how much content do you actually want to post? Maybe it's only two reels. Maybe it's two Substack things. Like maybe it's two YouTube videos. Maybe one YouTube video per month. That's it. And what I want you to do though is it's really hard, I know, but get out of the thinking of one, it needs to be perfect, and two, it needs volume. I want you to go deep on it and go, if I was sitting across from my client right now, what would be the thing they would want to pick my brain on, and what would I want them to know? Like, what's the biggest amount of value I could bring them? Like, that's what I want you to think. Then, I mean, if you want it to be high quality, it's the idea and the messaging that's the high quality part. But go like, okay, January, I'm going to spend a couple of days, one day per week. So 4 days in total on one video, and that's it. And then I'm going to get that out into the world. It's going to teach me a lot of things. And then I'm going to do it again next month, and then again next month, and again next month. And then maybe you can do a blog post on each one of those things, and maybe you can make a short form video on each one of those things. So here's an example of some short form videos.
I promise you guys, no one in New York City has tried more coffee shops than me. So I'm compiling a list of the top 50 coffee shops in all of New York City that you guys need to try. All right, coming in at number 50, starting off with a banger, is Park at Kim's. Honestly, I think this place probably deserves to be higher, but it's new to me and I just started going. So coffee here is always spectacular. It's a Korean coffee shop. They have some like house-made jams and like snacks. I love the interior. It's like super woody, great music selection. Everyone in there seems like they're having a good time. So if you guys are in the Chinatown area, I definitely recommend trying it. Coming in at number 50, Park at Kim's.
Okay, I wanted to show you that because it's kind of boring content, but I mean this has got a couple hundred views on it, a couple 100,000 views. But it's so simple where it's like a series based. Like here's number 50 coffee shop, and the next one's like here's number 49 coffee shop, and here's number 48, and he's like I'm into coffee. And so he's got one message, and then it's a series that keeps going. And I think about this and I'm like, if I was a Chicago-based wedding photographer, and my number one niche would be like, I want amazing client experience. Then I'll be like, okay, so what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to break that down into series. And I'm going to be like, my name's Jai. I am the number one connection wedding photographer in the city. And from my perspective, here is the venue you need to know about. Here is the designers you need to know about. Here is the florist you need to know about. Let's go and visit this coffee shop where you can get some photos. So I'll start thinking about like, everything as a series, and so I'm just repeating the same framework over and over. Does that make sense to you guys? And have a look how simple this is like filmed as well. Because if you only post two of these reels per month, like I want you to think about like, okay, I want to take this serious. I've got a camera or I've got my phone. I'm just gonna go stand in the middle of Chicago maybe. And today the idea is going to be if I'm like all about client experience, I'm going to walk around Chicago and find some gifts for my clients that have just signed up. And I'm going to make a reel around what gifts am I looking for today that I know my clients are going to love based on who they are. Like that's a really cool reel that you're not going to find from ChatGPT. So then I'd walk around and go like, hey, I've had 5 clients sign up this month. Client experience is one of my most deepest, rudest core things that I'm all in on about. So today I'm going to walk you around and show you exactly the gifts that I'm buying them that they don't even know about yet. And I'll walk in, spa day, number one. This is the one for this client because, they've got high paying jobs and they do all this kind of stuff. Number two, we're going to go and find some flowers. I know they booked this florist, so I want them to experience it beforehand. Number three, so then that way you're showing, not telling. And I'll be like, oh my God, this is the experience with this photographer. This is next level, and I would start associating you not with luxury wedding photography, not with cinematic photography. I'll be like, you are the experienced photographer. Like everyone else says it, but you do it.
Hey, my name's Matt. I'm an interior designer in New York City. Come with me and check out some of my favorite design shops. Starting in Chelsea at Mantiques Modern, let's take a look. This is my go-to for accessories. I love their collection of vintage silver. They've got silver pieces from Hermes, Christian Dior, and lots of other incredible finds. You'll also find great things to style a coffee table, bookshelves, Don't forget to check out downstairs for their collection of photographs and prints, all at a pretty reasonable budget. Our next stop is Maison Girard on 10th Street. They specialize in contemporary design, vintage, and antique. Right now, they're featuring a collection of furniture from the late interior designer Terry Despont.
Probably get the point, but I mean, you would agree that that's like it's boring content to a lot of people, right? It's got a couple of 100,000 views on it. Shannon, you saying that's boring? Yep. Right. Oh, and it's not boring. You like that? Yeah. So, but like the way that this guy started is like, hey, I'm Matt and I'm an interior designer based here in New York City. Like, I imagine that, and I could be like, hey, I'm Jai, I'm a photographer, a wedding photographer based here in New York City. Hey, I'm Jai, I'm a family photographer based here in Sydney, Australia. Like, hey, I'm Daria, I am a newborn photographer, based here in Italy. And then I would go into what is the most important thing. So this person here is walking you through their design sense when I'm watching this and tips and tricks for me. So what I would love to from you guys is if connection's the most important thing that you want to be known for, or cinematic, let's say that. Cinematic storytelling is the most important thing. I'll be like, hey, I'm Jai, I'm a New York photographer. Cinematic is one of the things that I love most, and I'm going to show you today 5 different locations that absolutely nails that brief in the head. Okay, so let's walk around. Number one, this place here, this is where it's located, this is why, these are the colors, this is the green, this is the time of day. I love this. The sun goes over that way, and this is where I'll be standing, and that's where you guys are gonna be standing. Number two, does that make sense? Like, hopefully, this has given you guys some ideas. This is sort of what I'm trying to get here of like how, like, to become one of one. This person here, I know this person's name, what they do, and where they're located now, and also now I know their style and what they prioritize. So for me, I look at content like that. I'm like, that's cool. Any questions on that? I want to show you one more thing.
Again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Jai. So I don't know if this was asked before, but does ChatGPT take your voice and transcribe it? So you don't need to have
Yeah, it does.
text or hashtags or anything like that. So those days are long gone, right? It's just it transcribes your voice. Okay, cool.
Well, it depends on the
Thanks.
platform, but YouTube does that straight up. Yeah.
And what about the others? Pinterest specifically? I mean,
Actually, all the social media accounts do. Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I love that all. The only thing is that I'm so fucking shy walking through New York talking. No, so what, like, this is a really important thing for you and for everybody. I don't want you to be uncomfortable and create content where you just hate it, okay? But I want you to think about how you can do it from your perspective that works. So an example, I personally don't like standing in front of the camera. Like I actually probably hate it more than anything in the planet. But what I could do is if I'm thinking about that, I might just go for a walk around New York and just take some videos of some of these locations and then I'm going to come back and open up in CapCut and I'm going to do a voiceover and be like, hey, I'm Dario, I'm New York City photographer. Today I'm going to walk you through and then I'll like pause and then I'll recollect my thoughts and be like, this location number one, I chose this because of this, recollect my thoughts. You know what I mean? And then you could even cut in some of the photos that you've taken at those locations and talk about why. Like when I look at that, I'm like, that's really good content. And while you're there, you could also do it in this way and put it on YouTube and do it a longer version as well. Um, Basically what you're trying to do here is you're all creating lots of content anyway. I want you to think about intentional, deep content that gets you to become the famous person for that space in your area. Like people are gonna be looking up Rebecca and be like, oh man, like you are the person for that niche. I know you are. No one else can compare and compete. And so you become one of one. And that's going to be important, I think. And when we start creating content like this, I think things are going to really blow up. I got one more lever to pull for you as well. But first, I want to show you one thing really quickly. Um, let's see. If we go onto YouTube, I went on a couple of YouTube videos right here. Have a look at the reels even. Inside Melbourne's European wedding venue, 1.5K views. Who do you think's looking at that? I don't think someone like me that's not getting married. Okay. Some of them are really boring videos, like this one here. It's got 78 views. This is a terrible video thing. It's basically just looking at some people's websites. They don't actually go there and they go like, here's a venue, and it's like AI. Okay, but this one here, 12 months ago, or 2 years ago, for this venue, I bet you if you Google this venue, or if you're going near this venue, or if you're getting married at this venue, I bet you watch this video. And if on this video, if it's like, hey, I'm Jai, I'm a wedding photographer based in this area. Today I'm visiting this venue. Here's my perspective on it. Then all of a sudden, all the people that are ever getting married there, they're gonna know me. I know that for sure. And it's one piece of content. Now I want to show you just one. Okay, this one here, we want to copy from other people's ideas in other industries. And one industry that I would love for you to look at, which do things well, is travel vloggers. They really kill it, and they're so good at it. Travel vloggers, if you can look at their YouTube videos and their Instagram accounts, because they're basically saying like, "Hey, I'm Amber. I'm here in Italy. Here's my favorite coffee shops." And they're just really good at getting the message across and showing you things. But when I look at this one, I pull this one up because it's actually half good. And this person here um, is a celebrant. So she made this. She's got 54 subscribers, so almost nobody. But in 3 months, she's got almost 2,000 views on this. So this is some boring content that I would argue is like booking in more clients than the last 70 reels she's made. Let's have a look at it.
To Overnewton Castle. With Scottish
iPhone.
baronial architecture, immaculate gardens, and timeless venue management. William Taylor of Melbourne CBD. Oh, but imagine how magical it would have been to have. Beautiful, this house.
Yeah, so we wanted to sort of embrace that beauty of the tree because to us, the garden is just as important as a house.
The team here is incredibly supportive in bringing your vision to life.
Okay. Incredibly boring video. I would never watch that. Someone getting married there would 100% watch that. Like 1,900 people in the last few months would watch that to the very end as well. But like she's building a brand here. A couple of things. Have a look at this. Listen to the words she just said.
The team here is incredibly supportive in bringing your vision to life.
The team here is incredibly supportive of bringing your vision to life. Now, with psychology, what we know is what we say about others is what people think about us. So instantly, she's building a brand, and I would almost say that she wants to be known as like a client experience, a supportive experience, and she's using those words. And when I look at this, I'm like, man, she is going above and beyond. She's just a celebrant, and she's out there interviewing the owner of that venue, walking around with her phone, giving me a walkthrough because I can't get there. You know, she's saved me time. I'm cooking dinner, and whilst I'm cooking dinner, I get to literally look at the venue I just booked. Isn't that cool? So I think stuff like that, awesome content. Does anyone else agree? Yep. I personally think YouTube is the most underrated platform for you guys, and just to prove it, I've proved this across every single country and every single niche. Go to your niche, what you want to be known for. Go onto YouTube, find something that someone else has already done, and I guarantee no one's done it, or it's terrible. You know, like it'll be terrible. So then when you find, even in the big cities, so it's like, whoa, there is so many ideas you can create right now and so much boring content. I know it takes time, but what I'm saying here is replace a lot of the small things that you're doing and go into these big pillars. So what I would do personally, if I wanted to really go good in 2026, is I would probably create one YouTube video per month, and I would really think about the idea. What is the idea for me to share? Maybe I'm going to a venue or something. Maybe I want to talk about my photography gear and how I get those photos. Maybe it could be so many different things. And then I'm going to spend that whole time like recording it, editing it in between things, or maybe sending it to someone for $100 to just edit the thing. And I'm going to upload that. And then I'm going to put that on my website and the blog post as well. So I'll transcribe it, put it in my blog post. So now it's found on two different things. And I think these things are going to be found a lot more. If you get 150 views on that YouTube video, you know that's worth more than 20,000 views on a reel. Yes, Amber.
So this is what I'm struggling with my own content is trying to bridge the gap between or making my content relatable and digestible. Because like let's say for example like my niche or like what the content or the photography that I do is not luxury or what many people would go for. It's more gritty, raw, documentary style, more realistic.
Mhm.
So how do I make that or translate that into boring content or just relatable content that people could consume?
So you're saying that you want to be known for more like the gritty street kind of photography in like you do weddings?
No, not I mean like I do like portrait
Or
stuff,
you do portraits and stuff, but you
fashion,
want
yeah.
that style coming in and like fashion, street fashion,
Yes.
I'm guessing.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the content stuff that I would be talking about, honestly, one thing that I would do, like what area are you based in?
I'm in the USA, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. The first thing that I would personally do is I'd make a content series with what people are wearing in Pennsylvania. You know, so I would like go like,
Okay.
hey, follow me and let's have a look at some of the street style that's standing out like around whatever city it is. And you could literally walk around and even interview people, or you could just like walk around and go like, check out this style, check out this, you know, where did you buy that from? Where did you buy this? Why does this stand out? Can I take a photo of you right now? And then you take a photo and then you can make like a reel on it. And you could highlight just the fashionable humans that like that style in your city. And if you did that, you know, over the next year, and that's the only content that you create, you'll be known as the person that for fashion, street style portraits in the gritty streets of Pennsylvania, if that makes sense. You know, so
Okay.
I start thinking about like it just makes it so easy. Get rid of all the noise, all the things that you think that you've ever had to have done do before, and just go like, for the next year, what is the one piece of content that I know is really going to land with my actual clients? And I would say like that content would really land because you'd tag the people that are in those videos, they would share it because they're featured on your account. And you're highlighting your community as well. You're highlighting the brands. You like feature the brands. You talk about the brands that they're wearing. Where did you get it from? How long have you had it for? What's the patina on the shirt? That looks awesome. And you're getting out there and you're getting into real life. So it's like real life stuff, like real life community. But then you're showcasing that on your social media. And the more that you talk about those people and how well they're dressed and stuff, it showcases you actually working. And so I see that and I'm like, man, I need to book a portrait session. Like I look at your work and I'm like, you know, you've taken photos of the most trendiest people in town. People want photos from you now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's just one idea. That's just what comes to the top of my head. But like, condense it down to one message, one idea, and one place that you could publish that stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm struggling with conversion here in my area. I used to have clientele, Jai. Now I've lost it, and I'm trying to figure out how to hook them as I did when I had my position as a photojournalist at my local newspaper for 12 years. But I'm also wanting to work in the DC area. Any advice? I'm in the process of rebranding as well. Conversions. I don't know. I'm gonna keep everything on content for now, but I can help you. Yes. I'm wanting to create content that's geared towards educating my clients, not educating other photographers. But is this something clients care about? Oh my God, yes, they do. Like it actually blows my mind. Um, I've seen the rise. Everyone's probably seen this. Like a photographer by default starts educating other photographers. Everyone's seen that. And their audience is not other photographers, but it's like those that engage. So it's easy to go down. But honestly, how easy would it be if you're just talking to your actual clients and talk about the gear that you want to talk about? Like, hey, guys, I've got this new camera that I want to try on my next family session. The reason why I got this is because the kids won't even know that I had it. Now it's this many pixels. It works like this. I'm going to attach it here. It's a really cool thing. I've also got this camera, and the reason why I'm using this is because of this reason, the depth of field. So you guys look cool. I know that you want to get this printed or you want to blow it up. You know, so you can absolutely be an educator for these clients. Like I could talk about like last time I had a photo shoot, I didn't know what to do with my hands, and that's what most people do. So today I'm going to give you some tips on like how to look after your hands, how to make it not look weird. Um, if you're, and then be specific as well. Like, hi, I'm Jai. I'm a family photographer based here in New York City. Today I'm going to give you a few tips that I've learnt over the years where with holding your hands when you're getting a family shoot. So let's get into it. So it's like nice and easy content for people to watch, but it's very specific. Everyone happy with that? I do have one leave of the pool, another one that might blow your mind. Shayna, am I saying that right?
I've got another question again.
Yeah.
So must I just always stay in the lane if it's fashion, aesthetic, design? So for example, I've got to go and pick up film stock tomorrow
Uh-huh.
because I'm shooting hybrid big production wedding. I've got 5 photographers under me. Mamiya RZ67. Would I do a reel on that, or would I rather just do the fashion design aesthetic thing?
That sounds so you might be getting confused with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everything you can make reels on everything, but relate
Yeah.
it back. So one example, I actually see a big issue with a lot of photographers. They're in this space where they think everyone knows everything about photography, but they really don't, right? So I actually see this a lot on websites where it says like, I'm a hybrid photographer. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like I do, but most people don't. But like a lot of the
Yeah.
times when I look at that, I'm like, oh, they do videos and photos, or they do content creation and photos. And like I don't know, it's like it's film photography. So what I would
Yeah.
do is I would be like, um, hey, I'm Shanna. You know that I love fashion film and everything else. And you probably don't know this, but through the 90s, the most iconic fashion
Yeah.
photos were shot on an RZ, whatever it is that you said. And today I'm
Yeah.
going down to one of the original places that developed the film that's been around since then. And we're going to see what images that we got. Like, so then you've
Amazing.
fully just related it back. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the best content I've ever seen?
Yeah. Okay.
I would talk about
Amazing.
those cameras. I would talk about the film stock
Yeah.
that you chose. I would talk
Yeah.
about how people don't know what a hybrid photographer is. Why would you do hybrid when you could just do digital and you could just put on a filter from Instagram or CapCut? These are all things that I think about. Like for you, I'd be like, I can't use a filter because if you look back at some of my favorite photographers from the 90s that shot medium format, square format imagery,
Yeah.
you probably didn't know this, but it changes the depth of field and the grain structure and the tones of the black and white. And the reason why I can get those shots now is because I'm replicating it by using the same gear. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
And that also shows the care, the
It
connection and
shows
care.
everything. Now I'm looking at it going like, shit, I know what she's about. I know what she's passionate about. I know what she's offering. I know what I'm going to get. Like it
Yeah.
now I'm like, you are the one of one. That
Yeah.
like a reel like that would go viral opposed to today I'm going to go pick up some film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jai. Amazing. Amazing. I'm loving this. Thank you.
You're welcome. I got one more leave of the pool if everyone's still awake and with me. Well, hopefully I'm not going too long. I actually probably am, but we're good. You guys are
Let's
happy?
go. Yes, yes, let's go.
Pull it, pull it. Okay. Um, this is a bit of a side tangent, but this is something that in my mind is a big thing. And I think I just want to show this. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. But when I look at this, I'm like the future path for some of you guys here that chooses to take this strategy. I really feel like it's a path that no one's doing. Like it's so underutilized. So it does relate to the other stuff that I was talking about, but it may be a little bit different. Let's do it. I've got a couple of videos for you to watch that I found on YouTube. Present. Everyone see this okay? Yep, okay.
Brand collaborations used to be sparing, targeted, special even. But now we see a feeding frenzy of tactical virality based on one magic symbol. Balmain and Barbie, sure. Zara and Everlast, why not? Verve Clicquot and Yayoi Kusuma, come on in, the clicks are lovely. No collaboration is too kooky, no partnership too wacky in this patchwork harlequinade. But why do brands collaborate? The most obvious answer is the magic that happens when brands commingle fans. When Taco Bell joined forces with Frito-Lay, they sold $1 billion of Doritos Locos Tacos in 14 months. Similarly, the collaboratoire between Yeezy, Gap, and Balenciaga created a presence far greater than the sum of its already great parts. Much of this is driven by media and social media, for whom collaborations are catnip, especially when as startling as liquid death skateboards painted with Tony Hawk's blood. And then there is the network effect, exemplified by James Bond product placements, where mid-level brands like Toyota and Heineken bask in the glory not just of 007, but of luxury marks like Aston Martin and Bollinger. How brands collaborate is equally fascinating. There are the high-low collaborations, popularized in the 90s by Target, which created masstige collections with everyone from Missoni to Victoria Beckham. There are strawberries and cream collaborations when, say, Nike supplies the shoes, but Apple tracks the steps, or when Red Bull provides the energy, but GoPro captures the proof. There are taste bud collaborations that monkey with our senses, like Coffee Mate and Snickers or Coca-Cola Tic Tacs. There are digital divide collaborations where analog brands join with next-gen tech, like Gucci and Xbox, or Yves Saint Laurent and Google. There are beachhead collaborations that introduce new shampoos to unsuspecting hotel guests, or tempt fast food carnivores to experiment with plant-based proteins. And finally, there are shock and guffaw collaborations, championed by Supreme, which seems to be on a quasi-parodic quest to see if there is anything it can co-brand that won't sell out in seconds. Collaborations are going nowhere, not just because they add to the gaiety of nations, but because they work. The cleverest and most viral collaborations don't merely add value, they multiply it. And this is why, of all the characters on the keyboard, this cross may be branding's most lucrative. For collaboration leads to fascination, which in turn leads on to cash. I'm Ben Schott, the branding and advertising columnist for Bloomberg Opinion.
Okay, I want to show you one more. I cut it out of a longer YouTube video.
Through collaborations. But here's the thing, these collaborations are impeccably chosen. And unlike many fashion collabs nowadays, they don't feel forced or redundant, and they don't feel like just another easy cash grab. Teddy Santis cherry picks brands that truly align with ALD's world, which makes for collaborations that are highly culturally relevant, bring innovative ideas and designs to the brand, all while helping ALD connect with new audiences. For example, the brand has released a capsule collection with Drake's every year from 2019 to 2023. This fusion of ALD's modern streetwear and Drake's timeless menswear works beautifully together, and it has generated a lot of excitement amongst fans of both brands. But where things really changed for ALD is in April 2019, when they kicked off their partnership with New Balance. Even though ALD had already collabed with one sneaker brand before that, in 2015 with Puma, the partnership with New Balance took things to another level. In fact, the launch for their second collaboration in 2019, which centered around the 990 V2 and 990 V5, was so massive that it ended up being shut down by the New York Police Department. But arguably, the biggest New Balance ALD collab was in October 2020.
So that might look like all random stuff to you, but and you're like, why am I watching this, Jai? It makes no sense, and but what I don't see, like this collaborations is one of the biggest levers that you can pull. We all know this. Like you can like go so far if you collaborated with other people. You probably noticed that I collaborate a lot with other educators or other brands, right? But what I don't see in the photography industry specifically, or videographers or anyone else, is everyone says, oh, it's a community over competition, but I actually never see anybody creating any community, especially for their clients. Now, imagine if you were in Melbourne and you collaborated with like four other photographers and became a superpower. And so you all shared your work, but also you featured each other. I could feature Sam of how he does 8 mil. I don't do 8 mil. What does that actually look like? And we could actually do a package together and collaborate in some way. I could collaborate with venues, with vendors, with designers, with other photographers, videographers. Like I could collaborate with so many people. And when I create content, I can create like collaboration content with them. So an example could be maybe one of your big superpowers is like you want to be known as a family photographer that prioritizes connection. And you collaborate with like three other family photographers that also do the same thing. And you can make a YouTube video together where you're all three of you guys talking about your own perspectives. And then you're all sharing it with people. And then you're bringing way more people in. Because one thing is for sure is as we try and hold everything to ourselves, because we want to compete with everybody, you're always smaller than when you share with everybody. When you share with everybody, so much more comes back to you. I know this for a fact. I've been doing it for years and years and years. So the more that I recommend my other educator friends, oh, you should join up to Indy Earl's thing and Karamia and all these other people. The more that I share and not hold back and gatekeep, the more that people will gravitate towards me and those other people. But also it positions me alongside those other people, like you've seen before. So you can position up or you can position down, you can position across. But one thing's for sure, like right now, if I was thinking about collaborations, and I go back to the very beginning when we're talking about the DJ, like I can do things where I'm like, okay, so I'm a photographer in this area. I want to have a party at this venue with this DJ. I want to film it, and then I'm going to and have it as an in-person event, and people can come down and dance and stuff. So the DJ's clients can come down, the venue's clients can come down. Me as a photographer, my client's going to come down. The videographer's client's going to come down. The florist's clients can come down. I'm going to film this whole thing. I'm going to put it on YouTube, on my YouTube, and I'm going to feature all these people and we're going to collab together. So it's like stuff like that. I'm like, holy shit. Like, imagine if people did that, if they were actually creating community, like real community. And I honestly think this is one of the strongest things that we can do to stand out. So if I was in a community right now, let's say I'm in New York and there's like 4 or 5 photographers and they've all come together to make a collaboration where they're all sharing their insights and creating content together. Like, as another photographer, I'd be like, damn it, how come I wasn't invited in? Like, that sucks. They're gonna dominate, because they've got everything there now. But from like a consumer's perspective, I'm like, dang, this is some really interesting, cool content because I love that photographer. They just introduced me to this one. Like, I didn't even know this whole world existed. They introduced me to that DJ, to that venue, to that clothing brand, to the shoe store. And there's so many things that we could do there. Riley says, I have a photographer friend who highlights a local creative each month in her newsletter, and I love finding new local creatives. Yeah, like how cool is that? It's kind of like that's the same concept as having that DJ at your shop when you're selling clothes. It's like you're sharing the DJ stuff, but you're like, oh, what are these clothes? They're highlighting someone else. From a last event, I used a product from a brand I love and I tagged them in my reel, invited them to collab on the reel, and through that, they reached out and personally asked me to become a brand rep for them. I just got a free box of products yesterday. Yeah, like that's so cool. I'm starting a podcast where I interview creatives across different mediums. So much to be learned from other creative people outside our space. That's exactly right. And so the places, everyone always asks me, where do I get my ideas, especially for marketing and stuff? There's no secret that I'm just stealing from other industries. Like when I look at that, I just showed you 2 videos in the fashion world. And I'm like, man, no one's doing that in that photography space. Or have a look at vloggers, for instance, that are doing like travel influencers. I'm like, man, no one's doing that in the photography space. Like there's so many things, because we collectively have all decided that we all have to be on Instagram. We've got to post some BTS and stuff. But I actually think there is so much opportunity for us to really blow up in 2026 and not have to worry about the algorithm anymore. What do you guys think? I'd love to find a way to collaborate with other mums and small families in my community. Yeah, man. My creative brain is rolling. Yes. I would love to not worry about the algorithm. Yeah, so this makes you one of one. You don't need to worry about the algorithm anymore because we're not feeding the algorithm anymore. We're feeding our clients. Um, nice, Riley. Yeah, and you're in the business, Matt Riley. We all be in the WhatsApp group. We can brainstorm so many ideas. I have so many ideas for you. Like I know you want like in-person community stuff, and like that's one of the biggest levers that you can pull um with marketing, like creating community offline and then showing that online. And I think that's like a really, really big thing that we can do. Um, there's nothing cooler. Like right now, you guys all have friends that are videographers or photographers or who like whatever niche that you're in, but you've got like competitors that are friends. There's no reason why right now you couldn't like reach out and say like, let's collaborate, let's make a YouTube video together. Let's like, let's educate our clients. Let's make some cool stuff. Because all of a sudden, like you're like taking, it's called quantum leaps. It's like where you want to get to step 10, but you go on step one and two, and then you don't even touch three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and you get straight to 10. And that's how you do it. You're jumping ahead because you're leveraging their audience, they're leveraging your audience. You're getting known by more people really quickly. And if you can do this across the board in many different ways, I'm in a startup to start a community for local wedding vendors. It's awesome. Does anyone have any ideas of who you'd collaborate with? Or the type of content that you could create with other people? A past wedding client? Oh, absolutely. I want to hear some of your ideas. Wedding planners, venues. Yes, yes, yes. Celebrants, venues, DJs, florists, local homeschool. My brain is rotting away. Thank you so much. Bye, Lara. Local music groups, stylists, makeup artists. We work with videographers. Videography has her own brand. Another wedding photographer who's similar minded. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see some real. Has anyone ever seen a collaboration of like two photographers? Like a proper collaboration? Where they're just like, hey, we're both in Chicago. We're direct competitors. This is what we think of each other. And make some like real funny reels or something. Would collaborating with other businesses, local female-owned businesses for a giveaway count? Yeah, definitely. So many ideas. Just published my first collab newspaper issue, and now I want to use all my special edition publications. Like this is like such a cool way to move forward. And I think if you're going to create if I was going to create some YouTube videos, instead of just saying like I'm going to feature a venue, I would be like, I want to collaborate with this venue. And then I'm going to talk to them, and say, I want to make a collaboration venue like piece with you. Like maybe if you were getting a videographer, can we share the costs? What day can we do this? Would you like to be interviewed? Could you interview me as well? I would love to know, and then actually treat it as a collaboration and then put that out there and say, can you share that on your socials? Can you share that on your website? I'm going to share that on my website. I'm going to put it on my blog. Um, that goes back to now other people are talking about your business. You're going to be found by AI. You're going to be found by Google. And last thing, when I talk about, oh, Becca, I've started planning episodes for a mini series. If I were a bride to be in Tamsworth, and also if I were a groom to be in Tamsworth, I'm excited to run around. Yeah, that's just really good content. You'll be the go-to person. Um, Another person that I mentored, this was actually back in 2015. His name was Michael Briggs. He's still a really big deal in Melbourne. And at the time, he was trying to find his feet and he was like posting everything, city weddings, like everything. And I was like, what do you actually want to be known for? And he's like, winery weddings in the Yarra Valley. And so we just went like, let's just make all content about winery weddings, collaborate with every winery, with every vendor that's in that area and just do that. And everyone in that area now in Melbourne just knows him. He's the guy. Oh yeah, the winery guy, the Yarra Valley guy. He's the king of the Yarra Valley. Like he has more work and more money than every other photographer. But he just got simple on his message, and he only shares the one message: best sunsets in the Yarra Valley, best side of the hill. Best walk streams to walk down to get some photos. Like everything's to do with the one thing. Cool. So, I just want to sort of just go over and recap. Number one, we talked about AI. People are going to be treating our business differently. So I want to get you to step into the creator phase. So you're actually creating your own copy, connecting with your clients again. So just everything you do, like think, I don't want to consume, I want to create. I want to create. I want to create. I want to create value, massive value for my clients. The next thing was, what was the number one message you want to be known for? So going over that number one message that I want to be known for, I'm going to write about it on my website. I'm going to highlight it on my Instagram. I'm going to start making reels about it. I'm going to do series about it. It's going to be on my stories. Every time I show up, if I'm going to drop off some film or go pick up some film, it's going to be to do with the niche that I'm fulfilling. So I'm still doing all the same stuff. I'm now just bringing it back to what do I want to be known for. Um, and then that's all going to train the algorithm, train AI to make you the one of one. People will be able to actually find you because they know what you're about now. You can write blog posts you can write about yourself and make vlogs about yourself as well. So for instance, you could have a vlog that's like what it's like to be a business coach in New York City right now, and I could literally just do a day in the life off, and that's going to help me find clients now, believe it or not, as a business coach in New York City, because no one else is making content like that. And so I am getting known for what I want to be known for. Lever one, what do you want to be known for? Lever two, series was lever two, and lever three is collaborations. So series, the reason why I want you to go into series is because Um, I want to see you guys succeed. And I think in 2026, the way that we do that is we simplify our message, stop the hustle, stop posting for the sake of posting, and we just go into what's the series could be carousel, could be images, could be reels, could be on YouTube, could be on Substack, it could be on whatever it is that you want. But I want you just to simplify and go, what's a simple series that I can just keep doing over and over that literally hits the target of my clients and gets AI to know what I'm all about. Like that's what I want for you guys. Less effort, more impact. Way less effort. I want you to work way less because we're only getting burnt out right now. That's all that's happening. We're just getting burnt out because we're trying to do everything. And I want you to take a rest in 2026 and give yourself some time to really think about these ideas because don't ask ChatGPT for the ideas. That's the most important thing. Ask your clients or just sit in it and just go like, what would my clients really want to learn right now? What is something boring that they would want to watch whilst they're cooking dinner that I can solve for them? A walkthrough of a venue, walk around, see the best places that you can shoot, how to hold yourself, how to pose yourself, what gear are you using, what lights you up? Like make some boring content, just like the guy with golf walking around chasing a ball. And maybe your stuff's more interesting. And then the last one was collaboration. How can you bring people together, especially in person? So the more that you bring people together, we had one before Pennsylvania, walking around, like showing fashion forward people, that street style. Like the more that we can do that, like the more we're really going to stand out. And it's really easy, really good lever. So I'm almost finished here. The last thing I want to just share is I am actually, I've got my program if anyone actually wants to work with me in 2026. And the difference is this year compared to every other year, is I am going to be going hard on just this content stuff. And one important thing for me is to have WhatsApp so I can, every waking moment, get on there when people are all chatting and sharing what is their message, what kind of content do they want to post. And I think, to be honest, the value is just in that, like, regardless of every single other thing. So I think there's ideas and there's everything everywhere, but that accountability and support and diving into like what can we create and accountability for me as well, because I'm going to be using you for a sounding board for my own content so I can hit the New York Times bestseller list with your help. So if you want to know a little bit about it, who here is in the business map? There's quite a few of you guys, I think, all been in it. Give us a love heart. Riley. What have we got? BM is 3,300. Ball of the year includes 12 months of coaching. There's a coaching call this afternoon, by the way, and there's this goal setting for 2026. So those that are in it, make sure you join. And the WhatsApp group for the year, so we can go backwards and forwards and accountability, and we can actually chat, which is going to be really good. You're going to be in my pocket, and we can brainstorm. And I'm going to take you on for the ride, but I'm going to be on your ride as well. The course, of course. So what's that group monthly coaching calls? The hardcover textbook I'm going to send you, the actual course, accountability, and you also get digital ads course as well. So I'm going to include that You get lifetime access to digital ads course, but so that way you can work out how to make your funnels, launch your ads. So you got a whole nother way of doing everything. And it is limited to 30 people. That's non-negotiable. And I think there's like 25 spots left. So that's pretty cool. So if you want to work with me, absolutely. And if you got a lot from this workshop, I really hope that you take some action. That is the most important thing. You can even, if you take some action, you can even tag me, even if you don't join the business map on Instagram. Like I'd love to see the stuff that you're doing. Um, yeah, love to see everybody and work with everybody. Any last questions? Well, any questions? Any questions about the business map? Any questions about the content stuff? What you're doing? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I actually have one question about map because I joined you in March for a year till March.
Cool.
So does it mean that from 2026 you're just gonna like cut everyone else and just like 30 people in there? Can I just again keep being there on the
No,
business map?
so it's going to be everyone that's in there plus the new 30 people. Yeah. So brand new 30 people. The reason being is I don't know if anyone really knows this, but in the past we used to open it up 4 times a year. This time I've opened it up once this year, and so I'm keeping it, it is the smallest it's ever been. And so I want to keep it small this year because I don't want to be overwhelmed. I want to be the same as you guys, man. I don't want to be making content all the time, hustling all the time. I want to get in my flow where I'm getting really deep and intentional, and that's deep and intentional with you guys and your content. And we're going to do that by having a small group. So that's like the most important thing, if that makes sense. Um, for my mental health, for your mental health, and for everything else. But yeah, content for me in 2026. I've been thinking about it for quite a while. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I took a massive, like probably 8 month break from posting on Instagram and my podcast this year. And I really needed that because it was like 10 years of just posting nonstop. And so many ideas have been smashing my head. And I'm like, as I've slowed down, I, I'm starting to see more trends and where people's attention is going, where the technology is going. And it's given me so much more clarity of like, whoa, we don't have to be hustling as hard as like just throwing everything at the wall like we were in 2024, 2023, 2022. So I'm more excited and bullish than ever on standing out, which is cool. Missed you, but glad you're back. Just proves that once you have a solid following, they don't leave. Yeah, I know. It's really cool. And that's another thing. I felt so bad about taking a break. Like, what kind of world do we live in that you take a bit of a break and you feel shit about yourself? Like, oh my God, I'm a failure. I should be showing up for people. Like, doesn't that suck? Hustle culture's dying out. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, man. I think hard work is the answer. But I do think you need some, you need to stop and you got to rest hard as well. Uh, Rishita,
I have a
wait,
yeah,
how
I
do I
have a
pronounce your
question
name
about
correctly?
yeah, Rashida.
Okay.
So I was a part of Business Map a couple of years back. Has the content changed or have certain modules changed?
Inside the business map, what year were you in there? Do you remember?
It's definitely been 2 years. I don't remember
Oh,
the
2 years.
exact year, but like more than 2 years, yeah.
It could
I
be on there.
remember you did introduce Circle right when my membership was getting over. So it was around that time.
Hmm. So we re-recorded the whole business map about 2.5 years ago. So I'd say you probably got that version.
Yeah,
So what
yeah,
is new in it is digital ads course plus the done for you content. So we've got a whole new section. Actually, I'll just show you right now. We've got a whole new
yeah.
section right now called done for you, which is, in my opinion, one of the most valuable things ever. So
So I,
basically,
I remember the new videos had you with a ship, like you would sit with a ship. Are those videos
oh,
still on?
yes, I think so. Let me show you really quickly what this new section is. So done for you is basically working with a bunch of people, and we're going through, I'm actually just about to update this for a new video. But I'm going through the sales systems, the ads that we set up, the price overhaul, and homework and what we need to be doing to like create content and stuff. So basically this stuff here, if you have a look, is a lot more. unpolished and more just like straight, like, okay, this is exactly what to do. This is how to write it. This is where to find the ideas, blah, blah, blah. Here's the homework, for you specifically. So it's kind of more like that, and it goes through lots of different businesses, if that makes sense. Here's how we booked $18,000 worth of work here, exact ads, the sales page, the price guide, how it's all set up, what the hook was, what the offer is, how much the ad spend was, what the exact ads were, what ads worked the best, all that kind of stuff. So it's very practical of like, oh, okay. Or if you want, like, for instance, you're like, okay, I want to have AI set up in my business and overhaul that. So we can go through exactly like how that works, what, yeah, just the systems and flows, blah, blah, blah. So that's this is the new content, if that makes sense, at the moment. And it's something that's like updating. I'm doing a video this week, actually.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks.
Yeah. So in my opinion, this bit here is worth the money in itself. The
Yeah.
WhatsApp group is worth the money in itself.
Yeah, and we're still doing the monthly calls, right?
Monthly calls, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Done for you, don't need that. WhatsApp group, online events. No, where am I going? Course modules, here we go. So it probably looked like this last time. That was the 2.0.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
With the ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
I miss it now.
Yeah. It's pretty funny, isn't it? Ships. I just love making things on theme. I think it's just like really, really fun. Sales. So yeah, tons and tons of stuff. Michelle.
Hey, I just wanted to ask, so my 1 year just expired. Is there a way to continue being in it, or do I
Yes.
need to sign up from scratch again?
No, there's a way to continue being in it. You should have got an email. I don't know why it didn't go through,
Oh, I
but
didn't actually. That's why I wanted to ask you about that. I didn't get one.
that's strange. Yeah, okay, so just send me a DM on Instagram and I'll hook you up and help you out. Do you offer one-on-one coaching with the business map at all? Anything? In the business map, I do. I have a link. It costs extra. It's not something that I typically openly advertise to everybody because it's just it takes a lot of time and it usually fills up pretty quick. But yeah, if you need some help, to be honest with you, if you're struggling and you really need some help, most one-on-ones that I do is usually for free, to be honest. It's usually like reserved of like, oh man, you're struggling. All right, like let's just jump on this. So that's kind of why that I do that. It's actually pretty rare that I charge for it. But it's like depends. Like literally, I jump on a call sometimes. Someone's like, I've lost the whole wedding. The SD card just didn't work. I'm like, get on a call. We need to talk about this. So it's like stuff like that. Or like, Jai, I literally got no work for next year. I'm actually fucked. I'm like, jump on a call. So that's more the vibes. But yeah, if you, I do one-on-ones for sure. Any other questions? Is the cost for 1 year only? If you want to renew, you pay further 3300. So the cost for 1 year only is 33 for the year is $3,300. That's correct. $3,300, or there's a payment plan of 3 different payments as well. Is it the cheapest program on the planet? In my opinion, it is way too cheap. And I just realized this only this week, and now I'm like, oh my God. Um, Devastating. I didn't realize what everyone else is charging. Yep. I did. I found out yesterday. Um, well, yeah. I just mind blown. I'm stuck in my own hole. I'm just like, oh yeah, just doing my thing. But to be honest, it doesn't need to be more expensive than that. So that's just where it is. So it's like whatever. It's good. We're living the dream. And I'm going to show up for you. So thanks. Got to go. Leave now. Any last questions about content? Messaging. Help. Does anyone feel more confident with their content in 2026? That's really what I wanted to do for you. Like, do you feel like it's more overwhelming or less overwhelming? Is it easier or is it going to be harder for you? I know it's different, and I know there's like it's definitely going to be hard because we're literally changing the way that we show up, and how we write for the internet, all that kind of stuff. It gets easier every time I hear you talk about it. I know we don't have to post every day, yes, which is good. A little bit of both. This one put your brain. Um, I gotta say this, yeah. Feeling inspired and terrified is the exact feeling that you should have, for sure. Because it's uncomfortable doing content, but it's inspiring to know that you're literally just some like content away from blowing up. Um, a mentor told me this years ago. I didn't listen until 2019, but he said if you could just publish on one platform and one message for a year and just think about that, you'll never have to look for money again and you'll be famous in your niche. And so I did that in 2019 and I published my podcast and it actually changed my life. I was just like, I'm just going to show up. I'm going to share the same message, make your break. This is how it can work. And I'm going to do it weekly and I'm not going to worry about everything else. And for me, it changed everything. I'm passing you on that right now, and it's like take it or leave it. Maybe you won't do it in 2026, maybe you will in 2027. Like, I don't know. Um, yeah, one platform, one message, 1 year. Let's go. That's exactly what I want you to just embody. Like, what is it that I want to be known for? I want to show, not tell. And how can I show that? If you're saying you've got the best client experience on the planet, I want to see the client experience that's the best on the planet. I don't want you to tell me that. Does that make sense? Like I love to see what that actually looks like. What do you do? Like make a reel about it. Are you doing some film for people and it's free or you bring in like a content creator? Like, do you show up extra early? Do you bring a coffee with you? How do you interact with your clients? Like interview your clients? What does that actually look like? How does that feel for people? Going back to using AI on your website copy, I use Grammarly to help refine my website copy. Refuse God help me with writing. Sometimes it gives me refinement suggestions and use them. So that's the same thing. No, that's not the same thing. That's what I was saying before, how like you've got other tools and Grammarly is like one of those tools. You can absolutely use that. Don't forget, like when you're writing, this is honest to God, man. I know you guys feel this, but the more that you speak from yourself, like, and the less that we have a filter in front of us, the more people can connect with you. So even me being on this call with you right now, opposed to using my professional camera, which is right there, this allows me to connect with you more. Without you even knowing it, you're like, I'm on a call with Jai. But if I had used my professional camera, you're like, man, I just feel like we're disconnected. He's professional, I'm not, you know? And so all these things are a choice. And the more that you have a spelling mistake, it doesn't matter. You know, maybe your idea is not perfect. It doesn't matter. But the more that you step into yourself, you become a one-on-one. People can't compete with that. And stop looking at what everyone else is doing. Personally, I think it's like the superpower that you have that we can take back in 2026. And it's more exciting than ever. Like I know everyone here definitely can carve their space of one-on-one. And like what the way I look at it, I'm like, what's my one-on-one? I need to get on this quick, you know?
Jai, I've
Yeah.
got a question, another one. Do you think there's value in being featured, well, at least being having to pay to be paid subscription, I guess, to be featured by Vogue and Wedbud and Wizardry and all that's been going on? Do you think there's value in that
Yeah.
still, or yeah?
Of course, there's value. Like, I won't ever say that one person's marketing strategy is not, there's no value there. Like, it's like what's in line with your business, what works. If you want to be known as like the luxury wedding photographer of Cape Town, and that's what you're all about, then man, I would pay Vogue to do an article on you for sure. And talk about like if they ask like what's the article about? It's like I don't want to feature all my photos. I want to talk about Cape Town, how it's a hidden luxury gem that no one's talking about. And so being really relevant like that, yeah, like absolutely. Like that sounds like it sounds good to me, you know? But if it's just for clout chasing and your clients will never really see it or it doesn't really move the needle, like maybe you could save that money and put it into creating some content. The cool thing is now is these magazines like Vogue and all that kind of stuff, they used to be gatekeepers. So I know for myself, when I got featured on Hello May magazine, I booked a lot of work, and so they'll the gatekeepers, and I'd be groveling to them like, please feature me. Like, what do
Yeah.
I need to do? But today, I know that I can look in your area, have a look at the YouTube, and there's probably massive gaps of no one doing anything. And I could go like, man, I could book out years worth of work if I just went, what's my strategy here? I'm going to create some long form, boring content for the people looking for exactly me. And doing that is the only thing you need to do.
Yeah, so kind of forget about the best 50 or 20 wed best photographers of the year and featured in Vogue and this and having all the Vogue um logos when you open up your Instagram. As a South African, we only have our rand is 20 rand to a dollar,
Mhm.
and it's about 28 rand to a pound. So we're not financially at an advantage. And so we have to be really, really selective about where we spend the cash. And so I'm trying to kind of like figure out if I've got this budget, where would it be? For example, would it be business map? Would it be Vogue? Vogue contacted me and said, we want to align with you, and would you be willing to pay for ad? And it doesn't even guarantee you a feature. Is it
Yeah.
is it a little bit of, shit? Or, I'm just trying to kind of like figure out
Where do you put your
in
money?
your, yeah, where would you, or is it, is,
Well,
because
I'm going
they
to tell you to
it's
give your money to me always. Definitely. But like, that's not the right answer though. Like the right answer really is I want you to brainstorm and go, where can my money reach the furthest? And then what's like when like the furthest, but also what's going to make my money back so then I can keep having that budget. Because you got to remember, like, businesses work. You don't just throw money in the void and go like, oh, that was my budget this year. You go, I've got $3,000. How can I turn this into 20? Would the business map do that? Is there a possibility I could book three more weddings? With Vogue, I got $3,000. Could I turn it into 20? Could that Vogue feature turn it into three more? So like
but you don't,
start
how do you
brainstorming.
know? You don't really know, you can't really know the answer for sure, right? It's kind of like, unless you've done it before, you don't really know.
Um,
I mean,
if you
yeah.
don't know, then you won't get the money back. And the reason why I say that mindset is because, say, for instance, like signing up to a course, for example. When I sign up to a course, sometimes I sign up to a course, it'll be $20,000. And I'm like, okay. So I look at that and I go, do I have the ability to extract one piece of information from that program for me to make that $20,000 back? And I look at the program and I go, well, I am falling short on upsells right now. They teach upsells. With that one thing, with the volume of clients that I have, would that be worth it for me? And I'm like, man, I would make 5x that. I would make $100,000. I'm like, that's the cheapest course I've ever seen. I am buying that
Yeah.
for $20,000. But if you can't do that, if you look at something and go like, I don't believe in my abilities to be able to extract information and take action on it. I probably won't take action. Then that's the most expensive course on the planet. $20,000, that's so expensive. Who would ever pay that? So it's two different mindsets. So with me, some people join my program and they're like, Jai, for $3,000, I want you to overhaul my business, be on the phone call every single day. I want one-on-ones. I want so much information. And I'm like, that's the wrong mindset, man. Like, like I'm not a babysitter. But
Yeah.
really, the right mindset is like, Jai, I am so successful. Can you get me some more work? I'm like, good, that's exactly where you need to be because it's you that's getting the stuff from me. Does that make sense? I can't give you
Yeah.
the stuff. You have to extract it.
Yeah. It does. It
So
does.
it's the same with Vogue. Okay, so let's go back here because maybe Vogue's the right thing. You go Vogue. If I go, I'm going to spend $3,000 on Vogue. I know I'm going to get my money back. Why? Because I'm like, well, one, it's stupidly cheap, $3,000. Like, absolutely, I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to make a blog post about it. I'm going to make a YouTube video about it. I'm going to have it featured on my website. I'm going to make a reel about it. I'm going to do a Substack about it. I'm going to scream and talk about it everywhere because I'm a luxury wedding photographer and it's like the number one thing that my clients want to hear. And I'm going to talk about everything around that one thing. So it's going to explode all this content for me around being featured in Vogue magazine. Will I get my money back? Absolutely. Someone's going to find me because of that reason. Now, is it I hand over $3,000 and then I hope for the best? I won't get my money back. I know I won't. So the reason why I say like, do you know you're going to get your money back? You got to know that you will, because otherwise don't do it.
Yeah, and you don't think it's manipulation to because you've paid
Everyone pays
for.
for features. Everyone. You go on someone's website, they're not just getting featured.
Yeah.
Like everyone does. And it's just like that's just business, man. Like if you go and have a look at your favorite brands, like Sony, for instance, and you're like, oh my God, they've got featured in like the tech industry. This shit. It's like they got a PR company that pays for that. Like
Okay.
Sony didn't just get featured there, you know? So we're
Yeah.
under the illusion that everyone's like successful and they're big companies. Nah, man. They don't get featured in
Yeah.
Times Square. They pay to be in Times Square, you know?
Yeah, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They pay 85,000
Everyone.
US dollars per star.
Exactly. All these things that we
Basically.
think is like all these awards and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's
If you're
perfect.
gonna go
Thanks.
and get yourself like you're an Oscar winner, can you be an Oscar winner or do you have to be part of that association and pay your fees? I don't know. So like Vogue magazine's the same stuff. So
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not saying it's wrong. And what I'm saying for your mindset is you need to sit there and go, I know I'm gonna get my money out of this. And if you when you get to that situation, then you're like, boom, that's all I need. Because when I sign a course, this is not like me just, this is I'm just being transparent. I am like probably a little bit more spicy, in my mind. I can't really hold attention, right? So if I pay $20,000 for a course, I go in that course, and the way I look at it, I'm like, what's the biggest return I can get right now, and the thing I can change in my business to make back that 20. And then once I do that, I'm like, whew, okay, that was it. How can I double my money now? And once I do that, I'm like, I don't need the course anymore. I don't go through and watch all of it. I don't have to go to all the coaching calls. The value is not how much
Yeah.
is the guy bringing. I'm like, what did I need to get out
Yeah.
of it?
Yeah, I think I work the same as you. I'm a fire starter and I need one idea and then
Yeah. Boom.
that just even if you get one small idea from something, then it can change the trajectory of everything, you know.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I
And I
get you.
will share this one
Yeah.
story with you.
Yeah.
In 2020, I was hosting the Wedding Photography Summit and I kind of didn't know what I was doing. And I was like completely out of money and I was running money on ads and everything. And I talked to the team and I told them at this time, I was like, guys, if this doesn't work out, your jobs are all finished because like the payroll money is all gone. But I do have around about, at the time, I had probably about 30,000 left in the bank account. And there was a coach that I was watching on Facebook, actually. He just posts on Facebook, nowhere else. And I was like, I want to book a session with him, but a session's 20 grand. But I feel like right now, I'm like, we are heading towards something and I just can't see an end. But I just feel compelled that if I pay this guy money, I'm going to get a return. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. So they all thought I was mad and they would never do it. Okay. I did. That's why I'm the business owner. And so I paid this guy. And we jumped on a call and he looked at my website and he looked at my funnel and everything. And the only thing he said, he was like, Jai, if you just offered a VIP package at $97 and added it here after people check out, you'll probably possibly make a couple of $100,000 on that. And I was sitting there
Yeah.
going, shit, I just paid 20
Genius.
grand for this piece of information. I couldn't see it. And
Yeah.
I told the team, they're like, is that it? Is that all they gave you? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's something I couldn't see. That's all I
Yeah.
needed. I would happily
Yeah, it's
pay
a
that.
and yeah, and the eyeball cannot see its own eye, and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why I'm a fan of paying for mentorship and help. I yeah, just need to know
Yeah.
where
But
to
make sure,
because
so I paid 20
there's so
grand.
many different directions I could go.
Exactly.
Um,
I,
you
I paid
know,
20 grand to that guy because I knew I was going to get my money back. I took the action, and I think from that one upsell, we did about $350,000. So
Yeah.
when I look at that, and then afterwards, all my staff were like, "Oh wow, that was genius," but they
I
couldn't see it at the
remember
time.
that.
That's why they wouldn't do it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
But
Brilliant. Thanks.
honestly,
Guy.
um, like I was saying before, business map's not a magic pill. Vogue's not a magic pill, and this is for everybody. Like, if you don't have the confidence in yourself that whatever program that someone's selling you out there in the world, you got to look at that and go, I can get my money back and I can 10x my money. You will then. But if you can't do that, don't sign up to the things. Okay. Important because your mindset's got to be right first. I hope that helps. And I hope that helps you with decisions as well, of like where to spend your money. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Brooke.
Hey, so I'm on the business map page and it
Mhm.
says to sign up for the wait list. Is that the right way to go?
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I'll put the business map page here.
Yeah, yeah, thanks.
Sorry. Me just not getting stuff out there. There you go. It's sixfigurebusinessmap.com/launch. Um, Jai helps with mindset along the way in the business map too, which is foundational part. Yeah, well, my mindset's everything really. Brooke, hi Jai, 2022 business map sailor here, just jumping in late, currently on snow holiday in Whistler. Awesome. Here to say, business map absolutely set up my new biz for success. Yay! Invest in yourself, take action. Now it says waitlist. Cool. Definitely agree with that, Jai. Business map definitely helped me with mental blockages for sure. Yeah, and you know, this funny thing is, everyone needs something different, always. And I think like the whole selling point, you know, it's like I'm trying to think of like, how do I bring in my 30 people? And I'm selling to me because I'm like, I want 30 people to hold me accountable. Well, like, you know, all the business map people for the content that I create. So I'm kind of being selfish here. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. And I'm like, I bet you the other people out there just like me that they'll just love to brainstorm this stuff and to look back at the end of 2026 at what they've created and go like, hell yeah. Like I'm proud of what I've made and the niche that I've carved out. So that for me, let us know, is there snow in New York? Yes, there is snow in New York. Let me show you. There's only a little bit left, but it snowed yesterday. And did I wake up before the sunrise because it snowed? Yes. Did I run out to Central Park? Yes. Did I go for a run in the snow? Yes. Check it out. A little bit of snow left. Probably can't see too much, but it's pretty cool. It's melting. It's melting. Yeah. How's everyone feel about today's workshop? New York vibes, I know, hey. Running, hey, first time I've ever ran in the snow. I feel alive, so much clarity. Yeah, Riley. I actually feel like you're really going to have a big breakthrough, I think, in 2026. I love everything that you're putting out there, and I feel like you're just taking those steps. You know, when you get that feeling, you just know someone's on the edge of that breakthrough. Like I feel like you're on it. And so I'm really excited to work with you with content next year and everything. And I know you're going to take a bit of a break of social media, which I'm really excited about as well, and being intentional. So I think it's going to be really, really good. Atlas, people are going to start playing with that. Hey, it's going to be, don't get heartbroken when you go on Atlas. The first time I went on it, I was so heartbroken. Okay, so the first thing I did for full transparency, I went on there, I was like six-figure business map, first of all, and I was like, who is Jai? And then I started going like, if I was a luxury wedding photographer, would I hire Jai? I started asking all these different things. And then it just starts showing like other people with courses. And I was like, damn, you know, you try and stand out, but then AI lumps you in with everybody else, like as if you're all the same. So it kind of takes out your personality a little bit. But it made me realize I don't think anyone else is thinking about this stuff. So it's easy. It's going to be easy for me to stand out. Hmm. That means the world. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think some big things. Anyone else feel like they want to do a series for next year? Whether it's just like a boring YouTube videos that are extra long or already onto it, or some reels. And like, the couple of ones that I showed you, one was shot half on professional camera, one was, and then the rest was like an iPhone. The other one's just iPhone, not even talking to the camera, walking around, like filming things. Something like this is really cool. I don't know if anyone has ever seen something like this, but this is just the content god, I believe. One reason being is because it just comes out like this and it's so little that and you just press it like this. So if I press that, it's now going to be recording. So that's now recording. That's YouTube 4K or that's Instagram 4K. But what's really cool about it is if I'm anywhere, and there's metal, like a metal post, or like if you're in a shop or a venue and there's like a metal thing, it just sticks on there. So it's just magnetic. So you don't need to walk around with a tripod or anything. You can walk in, just go like bang, and then turn it on, and then so it's like good B-roll if you're walking through a venue or something. Something like that's just really easy. Another thing that's really easy, especially if you're going
What's
to
that?
it's
Sorry,
called an
Dad.
Insta360 Go 3. I should have fucking shares in these motherfuckers because I've told everyone to buy them. I actually bought one for my brother not too long ago. Everyone's like, "You got affiliate code?" No code. I just actually really think this is amazing. The only thing that's not good about this, oh, meta glasses, exactly, is because you just touch it to turn it on. I often turn it on by accident in my pocket. That's it. Meta glasses is like another great thing that you can use. Another thing is this one. I really love this. So this is GoPro 360. Oh, sorry. An Insta360 X3, and I think there's an X4. But what's really cool about this is you put this on a tripod. It comes with like a selfie stick tripod thing, and you can set it up anywhere in the room and it films the whole room. So if you go to a venue, for instance, for YouTube, you could walk into the room, stick it in the middle of the room, and as you walk through the place, you can literally move the frame around to track you. So it's like great footage, of you just filming yourself. Um, you can literally put it out on a stick and walk through the venue. It looks like it's a drone without having to make noise or have drone permits and things like that. So that's like really easy. Other things that you can do, like if you love film, like get some rolls of film and a little camera like this and start documenting your actual life behind the scenes of like what it looks like to run your business. And great carousel dumps and slide throughs and stuff that are beyond brand, especially if you're a hybrid photographer. Things like that, really cool, really cheap. I paid, I think in Japan, like $50 for this thing. Um, Awesome. And then of course, like you got all these amazing Sony cameras, especially that just so cheap and they film so well. It looks professional. I have what is that one? I've got one here, but she's stuck on the tripod. This camera here is just absolutely incredible. The FX3, this camera. I mean, this thing here, like they film movies on this thing. Like you want to do some vlogging, it's just such a great camera. Olympus camera. Yeah, I just bought it from I bought it from, I wonder if I could find you the place. It's just in a mall, and like I was just walking past, and there was all these like vintage cameras. There's a lot of vintage cameras there, and vintage watches. But yeah, something like this, good investment. I make my money back on buying all these toys, and it makes it a lot more fun. Personally, when I go out, I have a little shoulder bag, but I'll like stick this in there. I'll put this in there. I'll put this in there. And my iPhone's always with me. So like you could make some really good behind the scenes stuff. If you're walking down Central Park, you're going down Pennsylvania and you're in the city somewhere, you can film some stuff and boom, like you got some great content. You're on the Gold Coast, Samantha. Yeah. Does that sound good? What was the second one that attached to the tripod? Yeah. So Insta360 X3, but there's also an X4 out now. Personally, I'd go with the newer ones. This is no, this is HD in 360 or 4K each side, but the new one's like 4K 360, which is amazing. Does anyone use DJ? Exactly. Like another good one that you can just like walk through and stabilize as well. Um, so all this to say, I know that we're not content creators, but if you look at it differently, art's over here, and then the content that we create, put those blinders on, steal from other places, not from other photographers. Like, look, I'm looking at fashion, looking at all these different industries, and create work from your messaging and publish. And you're going to do really well in the new year. Sound good? Rebecca, just another outside of the square marketing idea. I have a 15-second ad on the local cinema scene since June this year, $150 a week, every session, every movie, always played right before the movie starts. So good. New things for me. I signed up for 12 months. People already think I'm a bit famous. That's the point. You want to be famous in your town. You want to be famous to your niche, you know? All the things that we do. You can run $5 ads in your town per day and you're famous in your town because everyone knows your face. Like when I walk through my town, obviously everyone's like, "Oh, you're the guy from the ads." I get those all the time. But I want to be known by everybody. Like that's the point. Someone thinking of business coaching. Oh, yep, Jai. Someone thinking of photographer. And don't forget, like with YouTube, honestly, I think is the most underrated thing you could do. Just like that one I showed you before. 50 subscribers, 1,500 views in 3 months. That's really good, man. It's different to the algorithm of Instagram. So you got 1,500 views in 3 months. I'm thinking you probably booked out a year's worth of work. So it's like those type of stats because someone's watching that boring content, they're the right people. Jade is amazing workshop. Thank you. Well, big congratulations and thank you everybody for jumping in. And if you're in the business map, I'm doing a coaching call this afternoon in 2.5 hours about setting our goals for 2026. I want to see you there. Riley, I'll see you there unless you're really sick of my voice already. Too many hours. But otherwise, if anyone's got any questions about the business map or anything, get into my DMs. I'm here. It's only open for a few days, 30 people max. That's it. And then you cut off. Block it all day for Jai. And yeah, I'd love for you to tag me in some of your content that you put out in the world. And I might just take a quick photo for my Instagram of you guys. So if you want to turn on your cameras, that'd be awesome. Yes. Waving on there. Ooh, let me move this. Dang, everyone looks good. Hey, Jenny. Joshua. Okay. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, dang, it looks so good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Big love. Talk to you soon. And replay will be sent out.